Let's see. Are we live? Yes, we are live. Hey, everybody. Jordan, say hello, everybody.
Dile hola, Jordan. Dile hola.
Hola. Say hola. Wait. Hey, y'all. I'm so happy to be back. You know, we don't do a live every single Sunday anymore, but I'm so glad to have the family in. Junior, shout out to, I'm sorry, Nikki first. Ladies first. Nikki, hey. And Junior, how y'all doing? How you doing, Nikki?
I'm exhausted. We just got back from Puerto Plata today, and we were out very late last night partying with our cousins in their gorgeous, newly built home. I'll have to send you guys a video so you can see. Oh my God, incredible. Great time.
Awesome. That's good. Junior, how you doing, man?
Everything's good. Thanking God for another day.
I know that's
right. You gotta thank God first for anything.
Amen, brother. So we're gonna jump right into it. So Nikki, I know you said that you won't be able to stay on too long, but because you just got here in the Dominican Republic yesterday, right? Or day before?
Day before yesterday. Yeah, Saturday, Friday the 27th.
Cool, awesome. So so congratulations, you got your new apartment. So I'm so happy for you. Tell everybody. And hey, look, this is perfect. On the same topic, what percentage of Americans can be happy and live here in certain areas? So let's talk about your apartment and where you live in, and what you might be. It looks nice. So talk to us about it and what area you live in.
Okay, come on, ven papito. So I am here off of Las Americas.
Mm-hmm.
About, what are we? I think we're about 10 minutes from La Caleta, or like right by the airport. And I'm sorry for the echo because I just got here, so there's nothing to like not have it to be that way. I'm trying to find a room where I can sound less echoey. Okay, this sounds a little bit better, I think, right?
Yeah, it's not bad. It's not bad at all. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, good deal. So, but yeah, so we are about 10 minutes from the Boca Chica beach, driving. So you guys know I'm very happy about that. I'm finally on the side that I've been wanting to get to. Whoop, whoop.
Awesome.
So
Congratulations.
yeah.
Go ahead. I'm sorry. I said congratulations. Keep going. I'm sorry. Yeah.
Oh, okay. No problem. So yeah, so we got a 3-bedroom, 2-bath. Again, right here, right off of like Las Americas. So when you leave out of here, you're right there. I mean, you just hop on and go, and go wherever it is that you need to go, whether it be the airport or the beach or whatever. But from what I'm seeing so far, it's pretty quiet because these are brand new. So no one has ever lived here. I mean, we still need to like sweep up because a lot of times with the construction, they leave it. They don't sweep it up after they've gotten done. So we've got a lot of like dust and stuff that we need to get up, and then just setting everything up. So today is very exciting because my stepdaughters are coming here in just a little bit, and they have no idea that I'm here. And they also have no idea that we even have this apartment. And lastly, we're going to let them decorate their room because it's a 3-bedroom, 2.5-bath. So the one other room is going to be for guests and also for my office.
Okay.
Hey, Rico.
Good afternoon.
Hey, Rico.
Sorry about my voice. A little bit under the weather.
You good. Nikki can't stay on too long, but so she just moved in her place, and it's kind of on the topic. So she's going to kind of touch up on she's touching on like where she's living. And go ahead, Nikki. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Keep going. Mm-hmm.
No, that's okay. So, like I said, I think because of the fact that it's such a new place, we don't have all of the vecinos, neighbors. We don't have all of the neighbors here just yet. So I can't say about the noise level just yet, but I am hoping to God it's not bad.
Yeah, I think you guys have like some type of noise. You're in an apartment complex. y'all gonna have some type of noise restriction. They won't allow that. So I think you're gonna be good with that. So what is your like number one concern? Like living amongst the Dominicans.
Well, I'll say this specifically where we are. The last place that I lived, the gate was a different situation. Like you could still walk through, even if there weren't anybody at the thing. But that's not the case here. So literally, someone has to be there 24/7, which is great for the security of it. But it's also kind of like, okay, well, what if something happens and nobody's there, and I got to get somewhere? You know what I mean? I don't know how that's going to work. But what I'm
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Miss Sharonda asked, what, if you don't mind telling us, what are you roughly paying a month in that area?
Oh, good question. Great question, Sharonda. I meant to touch on that too, and I completely forgot. So it's we're paying $335 per month, and we have common gas. And I think we pay for the gas outside of that. We also pay for the electric, and I think the water as well.
Okay, awesome. That is awesome. So you don't have to bring your a propane tank into your house and pay somebody. You have the gas line already hooked up. So that's a newer apartment. That's awesome.
Yeah, but my husband said that he wants to see how expensive or inexpensive it's going to be, and he said that if it's too expensive, then we're just going to have our own tank in here. So I guess we can, reconvene on that at some other time to see kind of how that's going. And I will be interested to kind of see what our expenditures are like once we've been here for about 2 or 3 months, to kind of let you guys know that. And the other, oh, absolutely, dude, I have so much information to get out to you guys. I'm so excited about it. One of the other things is that I did travel with my dog. So Papito was here with me.
That's awesome. Awesome.
Yeah, that was a whole experience. We'll tell that story another day because y'all know I'll get going and I won't shut up. But yeah, so
let me ask you this while it's on my mind. Do you believe, because me and Rico was talking about this the other day, do you believe 350, 340 is the lowest mark for American? Because that's what I pay, 350, you pay 330 or whatever, 320, whatever you pay. Do you think that's the lowest mark? Americans should not go lower than that, because you go lower than that, it's going to be out in the barrio or in the compost. So go ahead.
That's a great question. I would have to agree with that because what I've seen thus far, that has been the case. And I'll tell you what, one of the things that was very frustrating for me was that the closer we get to the beach, the higher the rent. And I mean, that's just all over the world, I guess. It just is what it is. So we had people telling us, for a 3-bedroom, 2-bath or a 2-2, that we would have had to pay like, I think it was the cheapest that we found was like $550 and up to like $1,000 for that. So I was like, all right, well, I'll just deal with this. I mean, I wanted us to be so close to where I could just walk to the beach. That's my dream. But
the price, yeah.
Right. And can I add? I just want to add also, in addition to that being the benchmark, that I just think it should be the floor for any Westerner. And I would even say, I don't even think most Westerners would be comfortable even at that price. While absolutely you, John, Nikki, and I do know that there's a percentage of Westerners that would be, and because we're talking about, would you be comfortable? Of course, on an island, hell, if I got a fucking hut, that's all I got. But based on what we're accustomed to,
right,
I would think that even the majority of Americans wouldn't even be comfortable at the $350 price. I would argue you need to be close to the $600-700 a month, where all of a sudden it's like you're going to hit most of everything that you're used to.
Oh, absolutely. Hands down.
What we're talking about is people saying, I go to that. I'm like, yeah, you can live like that, but what are you willing to sacrifice? And most of us, I'm like, we are, as Americans, I'm talking about America today. We some pampered motherfuckers, because I know I'm one. I'm very pampered. So,
so J-Day says I paid $250 in a porta platter, 2 bedrooms, 1 bath, and I'm 10 minutes from the city center. There are plenty of affordable apartments, and it depends on what you want, where you want to live.
And I don't agree with that, but that's a part of the equation, because where you and J-Day, you salute to you, brother. You are 1000% correct. You can live in areas, but even if it goes to what you said, John. Okay, I don't think about just my house or the building that I live in. I think about outside. So what good is it if I got a cheap place for $250 or $150 and it's beautiful inside, but the minute you walk outside, like you said, the noise, the trash, the crime, the bad roads and infrastructure, what that's all a part of. We're not moving into an apartment to never go outside.
All right. That's right.
If that's all you're doing, God bless you. But I intend to indulge in the neighborhoods, in the beaches. I'm going to drive the roads, the hospitals, the grocery store. So all of that is what, it's like, yeah, you got, I got a cheap place.
Let me say this real quick.
Shock outside of it.
Right, I agree with you, Rico. I didn't mean to cut you off. And shout out to Miss Heavenly, one of our members that pay every month. Thank you, Miss Heavenly. But she says Americans should go lower than 1,000. That's my first.
I ain't gonna argue with that, because again, you're going to get at that price point. You're going to get everything that you're used to. Can you go a little bit lower? Yes, but every $100 you shave off, I'll say start at 1,000. For every $100 you shave off, what the fuck are you willing to give up?
Everybody ain't got no money.
It's not.
Hold on. Let me say this. Everybody ain't uppity like you and got money like you.
If your ass came from America, yes, the fuck you are. If you brought your stinking ass from America, yes, you are. Because where do you get $1,000 a month apartment in America anywhere? Coach, you were just crying about that shit in Louisiana. What the fuck are you talking about?
Well, Louisiana and Mississippi, that's third world country.
It's $1,000 a month. You struggling to find something less than that. So I'm like, even if you're coming out of Mississippi, Louisiana, in the hood, they're charging $800,000-$900,000 a month.
Right.
And that's you got a minor in the group person. You got a minor.
Oh, wait a minute, Heavenly, you and Heavenly always fighting. She said, "That's true, Rico."
Yeah, Coach, get that baby off here while my profane language.
All right.
You know the old man is cursing right now.
Hey, and I just realized, I'm like, hey, baby sitting up here.
I want to say, Jordan, say, wait. Ask him what his name is. Somebody say, "What's your name? What's your name?"
Jordan, what's your name?
What's your name? What's your name? I don't know what he said, but we practicing on English. He said,
okay.
he
don't need to practice.
He's gonna learn cursing. Messing around being on the live with Rico.
Yeah, I know. I thank you, Junior. I appreciate that, because I'm just real. I'm like, oh my God, what a baby here.
All right, go ahead. Go on now. Go ahead.
G Styles, ain't no projects in New York charging no $200. Come on, G Styles.
If you're on Section 8,
nigga. Yeah, but they're not charging $200. That's all you're paying.
Right.
Okay, I'm saying even those hood apartments are $1,000, $1,500 a month.
Mm-hmm.
They just are. So that's all I'm saying. So again, you pay whatever you want. I'm just saying, for every $100 that you're willing to shave off, what are you willing to give up? Because you're not gonna get anything for nothing. Mm-hmm. And the DR is cheap in a lot of things, but not everything. So I would say this: $1,000 to me. That's you gonna get everything you need, everything you used to. You're going to get good electricity. You're going to get good neighborhood. You're going to get good security. You're going to get good. You're going to get all that. Now, you want to cut it in half? If you're okay with your lights being out a couple of hours a day, okay.
I just don't appreciate Heavenly and you talking about me and Nikki because we chose to pay a little less and we happy and at peace and we happy.
You okay with being in the dark?
I'm not in the dark, Rico.
Not now.
Hey, he's not in the dark. He's out the closet.
Don't bring up old
shit.
Not
yet.
What'd say, Junior? What'd say, Junior?
I said you're not in the dark. You out the closet.
Yeah, okay. That's what I'm saying is if your tolerance level is high and you can tolerate things we would have to tolerate. Dominicans, it's normal to them. It's you know what I'm saying? It's normal to them, to us. Don't pretend like, damn, the power out again. If you say that, you're not used to it.
Right. I said that a lot of times the last 3-4 years.
What I'm saying, right?
Yeah, and that's why I had to invest in one and come out of my pocket and get one. But
and you're the only person that said the Dominican, when the power go out, they go out front and sit and have a presidente
and take their shirt off.
Shit, right?
Right. And Junior, don't they take their shirt off?
Yeah, you get hot.
but I'm not going.
Sweat coming down your back.
Now, Coach. What happened when the lights go out in America? We lose our fucking mind.
We calling the electric company like what's the
right.
Yeah, where's the people at to go ahead and cut it back on?
We lose our mind when the power goes out here. Literally, we snapping.
Right.
We are losing our mind because the lights got turned off in the U.S. of A. I swear to God, if the internet goes out,
everybody hit the like button. Yeah, you're right. Thanks,
if the internet goes out, we're upset because we are pampered.
Right.
So all I'm saying is that mindset doesn't get turned off when you get off the plane, and it's easier said than done.
Right.
You can do it. Well, if I'm on a deserted island and I'm stranded, but other than that, hell no, I'm paying.
But I've received disability, Rico, so that's all I can afford.
Then that's different. So, like I said, everybody's circumstance is different. So, if you only have X amount of dollars, then you're going to have to train yourself, and that's what this live is about. Telling people that look. Train yourself to have to deal with some new shit. You gotta
but thank you, Mr. I love my $288 rent, my new apartment. Thank you so much.
Yes,
I appreciate it. Yeah. So now you got 3 people. We got Nikki, me, and Mr. Nye. We all good.
I love my nonstop unbreakable electricity. I love that. I love that any hour of the day, no matter when, storm, whatever. I have continuous electricity.
I want to add something because I think that it's important to know a couple of things. So one, John has done videos about planning to make a move to this country, and to me, that really is the very best way to do that. Go ahead and get your budget in order. Know what you're willing to deal with and what you're not willing to deal with. What are your deal breakers? What can you kind of slide with, like, you know what, it's cool, I'll take that. Because like for me, like I said, we're going to pick up this conversation again in a few months, and I'll let you know, like, I'm loving it here. Things are great. I do have what I call a mini inverter. It's just the one that, it's like when the power goes out, I can plug in my fan and like one other big item. Like it's pretty powerful.
Those portable boxes, they sell them.
Yeah.
I like those.
So let me ask you this: when John did his videos, were any of those deal breakers for you?
You know what? Initially, right? So
here's exactly. Now we having an honest conversation.
Here's the thing, very much honest, because let me tell you something. If I had never come to this country for love and did not do other things in this country for love, I would not have accepted any of this stuff. I mean, let me be honest with you. But for me, I'm like, shit, I love this guy. I'm going to sacrifice something that normally, makes me very happy and very comfortable.
Exactly.
So then you get accustomed to it. I mean, I remember the first time I had to take a shower with a bucket and a bowl. I was like, I cannot believe I'm having to do this shit. This is crazy. I felt so insane. But now, it's fine. Like, okay, I'll go warm up the water and do what I got to do. You know what I mean?
But the question is this, Nikki. So you made the sacrifice for love. And that's what I'm saying. Everybody that's coming there is not coming for love.
That's right.
I'm not making those goddamn sacrifices.
Right.
Hell no.
And the thing is, like I said.
Go ahead.
No, but she told the truth. If it wasn't for love, she wasn't willing to make those sacrifices.
But everybody cannot be well off.
No. But this ain't talking about well off. This is about, the conversation is about, again, I asked her, were those red flags? And you described the noise. You described people knocking on your door 2-3 o'clock in the morning, wanting to take out trash or asking for money. And I'm like, okay, you better not knock on my goddamn door at 2 o'clock in the morning.
Let me say this also quickly to answer the question. I paid $130 for it. Oh, it's right here.
Okay.
Oh, that's cool. That's neat. Yeah. And how long
so
does
as you can see, you said how long does it last?
Yes.
I think it's like 12 hours or something like that.
Gotcha. Cool.
And then it's got this a light on this. Wait, right here. It's a very bright light. And I think there's another light too, maybe.
Also, Nikki, that also depends on what you connect to that, right? Like,
yes, of course.
You might connect a TV, a small fan.
So one thing I had a problem with was, like, I was on the live, Rico, Nikki, y'all been on the live with me where my power just went out. So that won't ever happen again because I got the what. And that was so frustrating because I got all my subscribers and then it just boom, it goes out. That was
Now when you leave from there, are you able to take that with you and then put it where you guys go?
Yeah, I just gotta pay somebody to remove everything, and just like you remove your refrigerator, your microwave, it's the same. It's the same way. Yeah.
I got you. I wasn't sure if it was like a permanent thing or not, because now that we're talking about that, depending on what happens today.
I didn't mean to cut you off, but ask Junior. Junior, don't we have to patch the hose up and clean it and have it the way it was when we had it?
Yeah, when most places, they'll do the hole for you. If the construction's new, they do the holes for you. You just patch it up once you leave.
Let me let you in on
the
the
next
secret.
person will.
That's if you think you getting your fucking deposit back. 9 times out of 10.
Yeah, exactly.
Let me finish.
Yeah, that's
9 times
issue.
out of 10, they're gonna find a way to fuck you out your deposit. So fuck them hoes.
But
that's all I'm trying to tell you. Right, Junior? Am I telling you?
Of course.
They're always gonna make some kind of bullshit excuse. Because you know why they're gonna make an excuse not to give you your deposit back? Because they already spent it and they don't have it. So they're gonna make up an excuse. So I say, fuck it, leave the hoes.
But
what I do? What I've done in the past, I just live out the security, and you ain't gotta owe me nothing.
Yep, because you're not getting it back.
But it's gonna go in your credit.
Dominican credit. Stop playing with me. Stop fucking playing with me. They're not gonna give you your money back.
Well, you act like people don't do that in the United States.
Oh, and I don't fix the fucking hole. And guess what? In the United States, and they don't fix the hole because you ain't getting it.
And it all depends. It all depends the area too.
Right.
You know, where you're gonna be living in.
Right.
Well, I'm gonna tell you. Let me tell you guys this. So when my husband was over there signing the contract, because I wasn't here at the time that he went to go get the paperwork and do everything. It was like about a week ago, or a week and a half, something like that. He told me that the lawyer told him, once you guys pay us the money, we'll go ahead and put what is it called? The thing, the security thing on the door so people can't get in.
Mm-hmm.
What, the bars?
The burglar?
Yeah, the bars.
Okay.
Wait a
Yeah.
minute. That's supposed to be done before you move in because that is safety.
Yeah.
I would have
Yeah.
never signed that contract if it was personally me. I
Yeah.
would have never signed that contract until that was done.
Well,
Because if somebody breaks into your
that's what I'm
home, then they're
leading
gonna
to.
say we're not liable.
That's what I'm leading to. So I said to my husband, I don't give a shit whether they put it or not. Okay. What needs to happen is before we walk our little black and Dominican asses in there, they need to put it on there. That's none of my business. Okay. If we are doing business, you need to handle that before I move in. I don't need to come in here and say, oh, what about this or what about that? No, it needs to be as it should be. You know, and here's the thing. I know that that's how people do business. I've done business personally that way before. When I've done, let's say, web design for somebody, I asked for my deposit up front so that I could go ahead and pay for the things that I needed to pay for to get the job done. They don't have to know that. All they need to know is when I pay Nikki this money, here comes my website. You understand? So for me, I just felt like, God, that's so unprofessional. Why we don't need, can they just do the thing and be done with it? And I also don't understand the rationale behind paying part of the rent then, and then another part at the end of this month. And then we don't pay again for another month at the end of next month. It just doesn't make sense to me.
Let me ask you guys another question about since we're talking about red flags and boundaries in the local Dominican neighborhood. And Junior, please give me your thoughts on this. So my question is, from what I gather or what I see or experience, I haven't lived in those neighborhoods, but from a lot of people I know, friends of mine that do live in, they typically tell me, like you say, you know, and they say that Dominicans always, they have a problem with boundaries. Like, just boundaries don't fucking exist in them. So when you live in those neighborhoods, it's nothing. Because, you know, like in the States, we're like, I barely even know half my neighbors. We don't fucking talk to each because we respect boundaries. Boundaries is a big thing in the United States. So that's another thing. And for me, of course, because I live in a gated community, it also spilled over there. So these people bring that same dilemma. So I tell people, like, look, it's two different ways you're going to live in a DR. If you're going to live in a gated community, it's not that much of an adjustment because they'll live like Westerners where they respect boundaries. If you're going to live in a Dominican neighborhood, what the fuck is a boundary?
But Rico,
You know what I'm saying?
when you walk and go to you leave your uppity neighborhood and you go.
I won't be, but go ahead.
You go to the supermarket. You go to the supermarket. When you go to the supermarket, you got Dominicans getting close to you and asking for money, and Haitians asking for money. So
and I move the fuck out their way and be like,
just because you live in Punta Cana, you have that same issue.
Hey, he's in Punta Paradise. He's not in the hood.
The question I'm asking y'all seriously though, Junior, tell me, it's about what, and because I want to know you in particular because you lived a lot of years in the U.S. where, like you said, the boundaries are. How did it feel? What was it? How did it feel coming back? Now you're in a Dominican neighborhood where, again, like they mean well. I don't think it's just like they don't respect boundaries like in the U.S. where everybody's like afraid to, you know, mind your business, don't do this, don't do that, and they'll just mix and blend. How was it for you, that transition from a place of boundaries to a place of, I'm not going to say no boundaries because I do think they have boundaries and they respect them. They're just not as strict about them like we are. Like in the USA, my kids people's kids don't even play with other people's kids and shit.
What he's saying, like, I'll give you another example. Dominicans lean on top of people's car and sit on people's car, and you get your ass whipped in the States for that. So like
that happened to us just yesterday when we were coming from the beach. I'm like, damn, It was like 3 dudes, but they scurried away as soon as we walked up. I was like,
man, what's going on, brother? How you doing, man?
In the chat.
I'm doing good. How you doing, Rico?
What's up, Manuel? How you doing,
Nikki?
sir?
How you doing, Mrs. Nikki?
Y ya tú sabes que lo que es la señora García en la casa.
Jay, that's my brother Junior right there.
That's right. Hey, kind of. Do you believe, Manuel, that the Americans should live in a regular neighborhood in the Dominican Republic?
If you're broke, you have to live in a regular neighborhood. Yeah, because the fact, you say Americans, like every American is financially stable. If you're broke, you're gonna have to come live where I live. If you got money, you are gonna go to a nice place. That's
so.
it.
I live.
Thank you, Manuel.
You're right about that.
No, because Rico, he says American, like Americans are like a special species in the world. You know, like yeah. Life is about money. You either have money or no. It doesn't matter. American, Europeans, it doesn't matter.
Because I got a lot of Dominican neighbors. They got money.
Now, I think the question is, do you think the regular American is going to be used to the things that we do not have?
Thank you.
That's where the point is. That's where the point is.
Yeah, because the regular Americans, you guys have a lot of benefits. You have you like the poor American, they have a stuff that a poor Dominican don't have, you know. So
yes,
yeah,
right.
I
agree with that.
Yeah, I think we are used to everything not working.
And Manuel, that's the thing I was trying to say is like, and I think this is where like Americans and Westerners, when they look at the DR, the first thing they're like, oh, I can get everybody, and all I ever hear them talk about how cheap it is. I'm like, yeah, but that's just cheap for a reason,
right?
You know, stop thinking, oh, it's only $100 because you're not getting shit.
Hey, when I thought about moving to the DR, I watched the YouTube video, and she's not on there anymore, y'all. But she was like, I paid $65 a month for my 2-bedroom, 2-bath. I'm like, what? And she's not a YouTuber anymore. But now, like, and then she's scooping water out of the, she didn't have any running water and all of that stuff. So now, like, I understand that you know there's levels to this.
And what I'm literally saying is 99.9% Americans ain't fucking scooping water. We're just not. What I literally say is, I think I'm a bad motherfucker. I'm not that bad. I'm sorry. We're not built for that shit. We are not. I'm gonna crumble. You have to be
your hot water too. You can't deal with cold water, which is better for you anyway.
Right. And the people who can deal with it are people who are, if you're born into that, then you grow up accustomed to it. If you're not, you're right. Because, Junior, that is the number one thing. I would kill myself if I had to take a cold shower. I'd be in the shower with cold water screaming.
That's like me, right? I left here young, 9 years old. I come back, so I got to get accustomed to the norm.
Yeah.
You know, it took me a while to really, move out of there. And, but yeah, you like it's like Manuel said, you have to, have to adapt, with your means, your pocket, how much, you have, you're going to be spending. If you got that Pantene money, of course, you're going to live in Pantene.
Right.
If you don't, then you're going to live.
You're right. You're right, Jim. But you know what this solidifies and tells me? If Rico was back in the days, slavery days, he would be a house. He would be a house.
Yes, I would be. And I'd be telling on your black ass every day.
He'd be snitching on black people all the
time.
I'd
be telling on your black ass every day. Yes, I would.
And you know what's funny too about the water situation?
Mm-hmm.
Like now, like sometimes I'll go for Airbnb or whatever here. I don't use hot water anymore because
I have to.
I'm so used to the cold water. Like my body is good with it.
Well, that's why you are not in a cold country anymore. You are not anymore in New York. You're now in hell. So it's really hot in here. So you need hot water.
Let me ask you this, Junior. Now you've been back how long?
It's going on 8 years.
So now let me ask you this. How many years from the time you came back did it take you to get fully acclimated? Was it year 1, 2? And I mean,
I don't
fully.
think I'm still fully acclimated.
You still aren't?
I don't think I am.
Okay. See?
Mentally, I'm not.
Okay. What about like the hot water? How many years?
The hot water. Maybe I want to say maybe after a year.
See, but it took like a year for you finally said, "All right, fuck it, it ain't gonna get hot."
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
Let me read this comment that Dirk said because I disagree with him, and I'm gonna tell him why. If you move anywhere and have to struggle, you might as well stay where you at. Let me tell you why.
I agree with him, but go ahead.
No, well, shut up. Hold up. So the reason is because some people go through depression and family issues where you gotta reset. And I had just been assaulted. I had to reset. I was having family issues. I had to reset my whole life. And some people, and that's why I say you cannot say that about everybody, because some people would rather. I heard somebody say, I'd rather live with a whole bunch of roaches before I go back and be with my family again. And I felt that because, and they didn't even say nothing about moving to a different country. They was just like, I'll live with roaches before I go, because you want that peace of mind and you want to be at peace.
Now I can agree with that, but let me say this. This is where I and that part of it. Damn radio, you said something profound. I can agree with that, right? Now I'm gonna tell you that I hate to give you a fucking bone, but
thank you,
even in that little bit being correct, and I do agree with, I still agree with. I think what Brother Dirk was trying to say, and I agree with, is so you even take like say whether it's the DR, whether it's Colombia, whether it's Africa, Asia, when most people are looking to migrate away from their home, 99.9% of them leave to go where? Somewhere of a better economic place. No one looks to leave a poor country where they're struggling to go to another fucking poor country. They don't do that. The whole purpose of pulling up and uprooting yourself to leave your home, the place you love, everything you know, you make the sacrifice with the belief that it's going to be better. And oftentimes, if you go somewhere and it's not, you go back home. Because you're like, I'm not going to stay here. Why the hell I'm going to come to America and struggle? Fuck it, I'll go back home. I was struggling there. So that's
I agree with you. I agree with you. But look, it took me 4 years to finally get to the point where, like, man, I'm so happy. I got unlimited electricity. I got hot water. I got all of that stuff. But I did the sacrifice. See, all you can do is laugh about that because I went through that sacrifice.
I know you asleep.
That's my ass.
But look, the point that you just made, John, is actually what I was headed to. That's what I was trying to get to when I mentioned about the sacrifices of love and, coming here and living this whole life and like learning how to accept things. And one of the things that I'm still working hard on is like accepting shit for what it is. Like, I need to stop saying, well, why is it like this? This is so stupid. This doesn't even make any sense. It doesn't matter whether I say that or not. It's still not going to change anything. So it's best that I just accept, hey, this is how they do things here. And in order for me to have peace and to not like lose my mind, I got to get to accepting things, man. That's what my husband tells me all the time. He's like, babe, you just got to accept it, honey. We're not in the US yet. All right. And we're going to be in this country for 2 or 3 years. So get to accept it. And I'm like, yes, sir. Understood. But again, I did want to double back on the financial piece. I think that it's very doable to have an apartment that's like a $500, like we talked about, if the person plans maybe for a full year prior to, if they plan it out and also have a couple thousand in the bank. You don't want to come here with nothing, man. I'm telling you, living in the DR as American, from wherever else with regular money, like a regular stream of income, let's say you're making $3,000-4,000 a month, it's totally different from coming here and you're only making $800 a month or something. I mean, it is, and especially if you're doing it by yourself.
Nikki, let me say this. When I was in the United States last month, I looked at my mom, and my mom spends, and I broke it down. And Manuel, listen to this. My mom, and she's not rich, and she don't have a whole bunch of money. She spent $60 to $70 a day on cigarettes, gas, going to Taco Bell, getting my dad his rum for the day. I'm like, Mom, you spend $60, $70 a day. And Dominicans don't spend $60, $70 a day. Am I right, Manuel?
But let's not pretend that they. But see that's you're absolutely right, and I understand about the excesses of people spend excessive money when they have excessive money. So let's be clear about it. It's not like your mom spends that because she has it.
But that's not always the case.
If her income was more frugal, she would spend more frugally.
That's not always the case, though.
No. Let's be clear.
For 45 years, Rico.
But for 45 years, what I'm literally saying. You can't waste money if you don't have money to waste. It's an impossibility.
I got
you. So
you're
saying you're talking about she's wasting money on stupid shit, and I agree. She's wasting money on stupid shit. She had to have the money to waste on stupid shit. Because if she didn't have it, she couldn't do it. If all she had every day, you said 40 something, if all she had was $5 a day, what would she be doing? She wouldn't be doing the things you described.
How much does Dominican spend every day on an average?
How much do they earn?
No, how much do they spend?
No, what do they earn? You cannot spend what you don't have.
All right, answer that question, man.
Yeah. And Junior is gonna correct me if I'm wrong. Dominican Republic, maybe in the United States, you have poor, middle class, and rich. Here we have like a lot of layers of poor. You got like poor people and extreme poverty. You got people like almost in the middle class, but they're still poor, but they got a little bit more money. And then you got middle class, and then you got those that are a little better, and then you got rich. So it's very hard to say how much money Dominicans make, because it will depend on which one of those layers you're talking about. When you used to live here,
what's the average layer? What's the average layer?
The average Dominican, Junior, correct me if I'm wrong. The average Dominican makes what, 20,000 pesos a month, like the regular Dominican.
So that's about $400.
Unless you work at a call center, and that's different.
Yeah. But I'm just talking like the regular Dominican that you
regular
find in the
people,
street.
yeah.
They make 20,000, let's say $500.
Manuel, that about $400 a month, US.
Yeah. Let's say the average Dominican, that's a poor Dominican that you find in the street.
Okay,
they make $400 a month, and so obviously they have to make a budget, and they have to spend what they have available. They have to go to the grocery store and get the food. I'll pay you. When I get paid, they have to do all the kind of stuff. They basically survive. But you also have Dominicans that they spend more money because they make a lot more money. So if the Dominicans are poor, you're in your mind, you will have like, well, Dominicans, they're very poor, because that's who you are related with always. And those are the places you go, and you have that like, oh yeah. I know a lot of people that are starving, and they're struggling to eat, because you never met the other layers. You only stay at the bottom. You know what I'm saying? You always stay at the bottom. So when I see YouTubers telling people, or telling Americans, come to the Dominican Republic, oh man, you will live there for $400 a month. I'm like, what? I'm like, what? You're telling Americans to come to the Dominican Republic to live in extreme poverty?
Yes. Thank you, man. Well, yes, I love you, brother. Yes.
Man, what?
Shut up, Rico. Shut up.
You're like, come here. Yes, you will find a place for $40 a month. Yes, come here. No, don't do that, YouTubers, please don't do that.
Hey, let me. I'm gonna time out for a second.
Yeah,
I got two calls from Manuel and Rico, and I sent both of y'all the messages, and they said the same thing. John, you are finally telling Americans what they really need to hear, and I and that's why your subscribers and everything is going up, and I wasn't trying to lie to him, but they both were saying like, John, I'm so proud of you. You're growing, brother. You're growing, and so that felt good.
Let me ask you a question, Manuel. And you too, Junior. Do y'all know of a single Dominican anywhere that doesn't want to live in Piantini or Naco?
Yeah, a lot.
They all want to live there.
Of course,
they can't afford. Right, so
they can't afford. You know what, Rico? You know why they do want to live there? It's not because of the glamour and everything. It's just a better
life.
You got running water. You have 24-hour electricity. So of course you want something better for yourself, for your kids.
And that's what I'm saying is I get so frustrated because and this is the part that like really burns me up, Manuel, right? Because I had this conversation with another friend that me and Coach used to have, and I used to get on Coach about it all the time. He would see a poor Dominican, and he'll tell you I used to cuss his ass out. He'd be like, "But Rico, they happy," and I would look at him. I'm like, "That's so fucking disrespectful." People living in poverty are not happy. They're content. They don't complain about their condition. And I understand that. But don't ever project their happiness on them and say, "Oh, man, well, look at him. He's sitting there in a $10 a month place. He barely had anything to eat. He's fucking happy." I'm like, no, he's hungry. He's not happy.
But Manuel.
Let me finish. Manuel's not complaining. He's not bitching about it because when you live in a certain condition, you become adjusted to it. You become used to it. So I tell people, even like myself, I'm privileged. So when I look at people with less than, I don't pity them, but I also don't go like, oh, they would walk away and they don't want nothing but to be poor. I'm like, nobody wants to be poor. Nobody. That's just how it is. Some people have things, some people don't. So have empathy. Show that you care. And stop going, oh, they happy. They don't need shit. Give them 10 pesos and keep walking. When we do that, we're alleviating ourselves of the guilt. I feel bad that I have things and poor people don't. I don't sit there and beat myself up to death. I just wish the world wasn't so fucked up like it is.
But I understand. But let me ask Manuel. Manuel, the blind guy that lived in our neighborhood when I lived close by you, right? The blind guy.
Yeah.
He got a disability check. I think he got like $100 a month or something like that. But was he happy or sad or depressed? And I'm just asking. Wait, shut up, Rico. I'm asking. Was he happy? Was he sad? Was he depressed because he lived in a shack in a small house? He ate beans and rice every day? Answer that question, please.
I don't know if he was depressed. I know the guy. And here's the thing, John. When you're born poor, that's all you know.
Thank you. The fuck?
And
God.
Man, well, don't laugh at that shit, man.
No, bro. No, I know because I know the guy. I've known the guy for a long time, and
he happy he blind. He happy he can't see shit.
He's always been poor, like a very poor person. So I guess
that's not what I'm saying. I wasn't saying.
But I'm not sure if he's. I see him always laughing and
that's what I'm talking about.
Exactly. Yeah. That's right. He's always laughing and living his life with what he has. So yeah.
But it's because of what Manuel said, and thank you, Manuel. That's all you know. So what you do is you become content. When I say content, you make peace with your condition. If I've been poor before, it's like you just make peace with it. There's no sense in kicking and cussing and screaming. It just is what it is. So I think poor people in the DR, poor people all around the world, they make peace with it. But do they wish for something more? You goddamn right. That's what I'm trying to get us. But what I'm trying to get us to understand is, if they were happy, they wouldn't want anything else. They wouldn't want anything else. I'm happy.
You see,
no.
You see celebrities killing themselves all the time.
Excuse me, we ain't talking about celebrities. If you're happy, why do you want anything more than what you already have? You're happy with it. You don't want anything else. Don't give me nothing else. Don't give me nothing else. I'm happy.
That don't work like that.
Because they're not happy. That's why. And your ignorant ass ain't figured it out. They're content and at peace.
But they
blind man being
telling me, okay, man, Junior, can you be happy and be poor and not have a whole bunch of stuff? Junior, I can't hear you, Junior.
I got the answer for you.
Go ahead, man. Give me the answer.
Yeah. Here's the thing.
I can.
Yeah, but let me help. Let me help you, Junior. You're gonna. Yeah. Let me. There are two types of poor. The one that is born poor, like me, and the one that is rich and then has to be poor again. So that one is not happy. So
thank you.
So I was born poor. I am poor still. And I know, I mean, I've been poor for my whole life, so I know what it is.
Yes.
So I'm good. I'm actually right now, I'm not depressed.
Right.
I'm not sad at all, because poor is what I've been. Of course, I want to get more things, obviously. Like I want to get more comfortable, right?
I'm sorry,
but I consider myself within my environment. Here's the thing. Within my environment of more poor people, I am happy. But if you put me among a lot of rich people, then I'll be sad, because I'll be like, God damn.
Yes. Thank you.
I'll be like, God damn, I'm the brokest person in the planet.
Thank you, man. Well,
does that make sense to you?
Yeah.
It makes a lot. That's a good point. I like how you broke that down. Great job, brother. Great job. Yeah, so ask the question. Ask Junior the question.
Junior, can you be poor and happy at the same time?
Can you be poor and happy at the same time? I think so.
How?
Ask a lot of people here that they're poor and they drink every day and they're happy.
Nah. Drinking is no fun. Celebrating is not happiness. Because
that's not celebrating. That's
no. But listen, we're gonna move off of. Let me ask you this. So the question is again, and again, like I said, I'm not saying that poor people are unhappy. I would never say that. They're not unhappy. When I was poor, I wasn't unhappy. I was like, man, well said. Like, that was what I knew. I was content. I'm good. And me being content, like I ate. It don't mean I'm not gonna get fucking hungry again later. I'm not hungry now. So in the moment, but guess what? Tomorrow morning, I'm gonna be an angry motherfucker when I wake up hungry. But right now, I'm not hungry. So I'm content. So you can look at me. Look at Rico. He happy. Look at me tomorrow morning. When I slept all night, I ain't ate, and I wake up very hungry, my condition or my emotions will change. And all I'm just trying to get is us who have an abundance to look at when we see people with less than an abundance, just don't project riches on them that they don't have, because these people because other than that, people at the bottom are working hard every day. They're struggling hard every day to have better. If you're happy, you know what I'll say, Junior? Fuck you. You don't deserve nothing better. Stay where you at. You see what I'm saying? And I don't want to project that on you. You deserve more and better.
Dr. HP says, my question is, what is comfortable? If one didn't know what comfortable looks like, would they want it?
I don't know.
It's like what happened to me today, right? The fan in the house is broken. Don't know how it got broken, right? So I take it to this old man that I know, fixes radios, fans, you name it. Once he fixed it, I asked him how much. He said 200. I have 5 in my pocket. I just gave him the whole 5. He looked at me like, "You sure?" I said, "Have yourself a drink on me." You know, because I know he ain't got a lot. I might have had it. I might have had that 500 to give to him, but there's times where I'm not gonna have it. But he was appreciative that I gave him. You know, he didn't want to take the extra 300 pesos. You know?
So why didn't you think he was happy? Why didn't you think he was happy? Just you knew he needed it. You knew that. But why did you think he was happy without it? Because that's what I'm saying is I'm trying to get us to become a little bit more empathetic to other people. So when you see people who have less than you, that I'm not saying, oh, I'm gonna give him all my money. I'm just like, you know what? You know, he might need some help. I'll extend a hand. I'll extend a bit of love, whatever the case may be. And I find often in the spaces that I go through, too many times I see privileged Americans who have the privilege to be able to come to the DR and other places, and they do their little poverty porn shit, and then they'll go, "Oh, they happy. Look at the little kids begging. They happy. Ha 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 ha." I'm like, no, that shit to me it just pisses me off. It's not cool. I'm like, these people are trying to survive and struggle. I will never call them happy, even if they are happy. That'll be for you to say, not for me. Is all I'm saying. If you tell me you happy, I'll accept it. But I'm never gonna say you happy because it's not my place to do that.
No, you're right.
Don't you guys think that finding a definition for happiness is a little difficult? Because when you're poor, you are chasing material stuff because you want to be rich, but then you're rich and you realize that you sacrificed your family, you lost your children, you never were there in their graduation because you were making money, and then now you feel empty, and now you got everything you wanted, but now you're sad again. So it's kind of difficult because happiness is like it's temporary, and then you get what you want, and then you're sad again, you want something else. I'm just saying, you correct me.
Man, look, that's a great point because happiness. I don't think happiness should always be tied to wealth. So I'm not saying that poor people can't be happy. I'm not saying that because there are unhappy rich people, like you said, based on
like Regiment says, many people in America are comfortable but miserable. Too many development with threat to joy.
Yeah, I agree with that. So I absolutely agree. The happiness, but I know we look at. Because the only reason I'm saying is I'm going to kick Radio in the ass because he always say, Rico, look at them. They poor. They live in the dirt. They eating shit. They fucking don't have clothes and no shoes on it, but they happy. I'm like, what? He would always describe it like that. And that's why I was like, bro, stop saying that. Stop saying these people that are that poor. Maybe they are. I don't know. But stop saying that. Just don't. Because you don't know. Just please don't for me.
I want to add something.
Go ahead, Nikki.
I just want to add this about, the question of are they happy, are they not? I think that generally speaking, we all have issues, right? Like but on different levels and we're affected differently. I think that people that live in poverty have been conditioned to accept bad news and bad things much easier than those who have not, right? But I also think this. I think that if a person is broke, poor, single, and lonely, that's different than a poor person who has a wife or a husband and kids. And you know what I mean? And they get their happiness from being with their friends and family. And just, it's a different life. Because you do, again, talking about rich people, right? They've got it all, right? They can go and buy a girlfriend or boyfriend or whatever. But what does that mean when it doesn't really mean anything? So I think it's really subjective. And I think it's a really broad question. But I mean, I would like to, I don't know, do some kind of a poll where we could talk to people and see what they say. I mean, I think that may be a good idea to have an episode where we talk to, people who are living in poverty that say, I'm miserable, I'm happy, I'm cool and kind of hear their different perspectives.
Yeah, Manuel talked about that last about 6 months ago. He said one day I'm gonna take you to some of these rough areas, brother. And you know, I remember. So hey, man, we'll do that next year sometime. We'll do that. That's a great idea.
So let me ask another question. Since we started out talking about the red flags,
Somebody
right?
got an echo in the back a little bit. Yeah, or something going on back there. Or like,
okay. So let me ask another question, right? Since we're talking about red flags, so if also and because I think it ties in with this unhappiness thing and the poverty thing. So was it? Let me tell you this. I know it's been a bit of an adjustment for me when I come to the island, as opposed to like here in the US, it's weird. Like we have like homeless people that ask for stuff, right? I see them out in the middle of the fucking media, and that's about the extent of it. But in America, we know you got a shitload of homeless shelters. You know, they do feeding homeless people. So we kind of have a different mindset.
They have that here in the DR. They have that in the DR.
They got homeless shelters for women and men.
In San Cristobal.
I'm just asking. I don't know.
I see people with plastic plates in their hand, and they go.
Do they have homeless shelter where men can go in and sleep?
I'm talking about the food part.
Okay, but I'm asking about everything, John. I don't know.
But you brought up two things, and I told you I have seen
that they feed.
That they feed them, right, Manuel Jr.?
Yeah, free food. That's called comedor económico. That's like governmental food that they give for free.
So is that everywhere around the island? Just out of curiosity.
Yes. They have one in every province. Yes, they have one. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Do they have free housing for homeless people?
No.
Okay.
No, you're gonna die in the streets.
You want to argue that? Oh, come on, coach.
Yeah, no, of course. I mean,
I didn't know about that.
We do have places for children. Yes,
right.
We do have places for children. If a child doesn't have a house, the government has a place. But once you are 18,
you on your own.
Yeah.
Okay, which is fine, and I'm not passing no judgment. I'm trying to explain, if radio would let me, the differences. So I'm like, so that's the concept. So in America, what I'm saying is because we know that the homeless people have all these options, it's easier for people to be like, fuck them. I'm not giving them no money. I'm not giving them no money. I'm not giving them no money, right? So, and you know that too, Junior. Like people like, man, he a bum. He begging, boom, boom. And people do that. I even fight with my family. Go ahead, get a man $1. Nah, he begging. I'm like, he's just gonna get something to drink with him. Like, come on, just a fucking $1, right? I do that, but yet here in the DR, when I come to the DR, you also see that same dynamic. And also, it's like, I wonder, like, how, as an expat, it's like, are you prepared to come to a country where you will see it as well, maybe even more, and it may even be children? Because I don't see kids in the U.S. at the stop sign, whatever, asking for money. At once it used to be, but not anymore. Mm-hmm. Nothing like I see. Even in Punta Bougie, they every fucking where. So, and I don't have a problem with it. I'm always keeping change, money, and my wife be cussing me out. I give out shit, probably $100 every time I'm there, because it's just like I'm just charitable like that. Not that I'm a good guy, I'm not. I just feel like shit when I see people with less like that. And that's me trying. Is that a red flag? Something that, what I would tell people, like, you got to condition your heart that this is what you're going to see. That's my question. It's like, how do you take that in and absorb that? Yeah. Because me, I think there's a lot of people that come to the country and don't give a fuck. Right. But there are people like me who come to the country and my heart breaks when I see a lot of shit.
Of course. Yeah. I'm compassionate.
And that's a struggle. Yeah. That's a personal struggle for me seeing it. I'm like, I can't say it, but it's, you know, my wife, she stays on my ass, but it emotionally, when I be like, God damn.
Yeah.
All right. And I know you got, like, man, well, like I said, when you grow up in it, you get conditioned. But for those of us who didn't grow up being conditioned to, I don't want to say harden your heart, because I think you have a very compassionate heart, but
He does, yeah.
you gotta harden it a little bit, I guess. I don't know. So
hey,
help
man,
me
when you see poor people and there's like living in shacks like in San Cristobal, you know that area you told me about by the river by La Serena. Oh my God,
Yeah.
like,
That's extreme poverty. You
that's
will
extreme.
not see that in the States. That kind of poverty. I don't think you will. Like, I know you have places in the US where are very inhumane, but in here is a lot worse because the layers of poverty here, they go deeper, because um, here's my opinion. I agree with Rico. When you're poor, let's say in a poor country, I think adversity builds character at a very young age. When you have to deal with a lot of things, you grow faster. You build a strong character because you don't have any other option. So you got no time to be depressed. So you gotta survive. You gotta get food for your mom that is sick or your little sister. You gotta go to work. You're the youngest. Blah blah blah. You already know. That's what every Latin American country have to go through. So we get used to that struggle, and probably that's why we handle problems in a different way than Americans, and that's why that's why we as Latinos, we are less likely to be depressed because we are used to it, to problems, solving stuff. We don't have that culture. Americans have the culture of the refund. Like, I call customer service, I complain, and I get a refund.
Junior know about that.
It does not, John, you've been here enough, so you know it doesn't exist here.
Right.
Like,
Right.
Nobody's gonna like, oh yeah. You got the culture of, let me talk to your supervisor, right? Yeah, you go places. I'm American. Let me talk to your boss now. You know that doesn't work here. Am I lying?
You're not lying.
Am I lying?
You're not lying, dude. I had to learn that the hard way. I was like, the nerve.
Exactly.
And now I'm just like, thank you. Please help if you can. I understand.
Exactly. So when something is broke in the Dominican mind, you think, okay, I gotta fix it. In the US mind, in American mind, you think, I gotta call someone. Yeah, like, my bathroom is broken. I need you to send someone to fix it. All right, but in here you have to like, okay, so what do I do now? I gotta fix this.
You're making fun of us. You're making fun of us.
No, but I'm asking you.
Keep telling the truth. Keep telling the truth. Keep preaching.
I think it is the truth, right? Because
it's the truth.
We have to solve the majority of our problems because here nothing works.
Yes,
everything is broken. So you gotta find a way to do it yourself. And I think that builds. I'm not saying that we are better than anybody. I'm just saying in terms of being depressed and the mindset of being poor, but still you don't even remember that you're poor because you're used to it.
But does that not tap into, man? Well, like I said, is where I think that's where I said I think we crossed the line with calling it happiness because they don't complain. Because, like you said, like I gotta fix it.
Yeah,
and it's no sense in complaining because I gotta fix it. No one cares. So it's not like I'm happy that I got a problem. I got a problem. I gotta fix it. While I'm gonna be crying. Me, Radio, Nikki, we gonna be crying. Oh, call somebody. You be like, just shut the fuck up and fix it. So that's what I always say. I'm like, that's not happiness. That's content. Okay, problems happen in life. You deal with this shit. So you guys do have stronger character in that way. I think a lot of countries who have less than us, we used to once have it. We don't have that shit no more.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, I do want to say.
Go ahead, Nikki.
I was just going to say I agree with you 100% in that one of the things that I absolutely have loved about my experience of coming to this country is that, before I thought I was pretty good at solving problems and solution oriented or whatever. But it's like now I am a god dang pro. Like the minute something happens, I'm fixing it like that. And my mom, like the last couple of times if something has happened around the house that I fixed, she's like, how did you get so good at doing this stuff? I'm like, girl, when you're over there, you gotta figure it out. Okay. Prime example. When they cut on our electricity over here, there was nobody to come and physically turn it on. So you already know what we did. We called the homeboy to come. We paid him his little 500 pesos or whatever, hooked it up. That's it. So like you said, you guys are, Dominicans are always finding solutions for whatever's going on. They're not going to sit around and wait for somebody and cry about it. They're going to figure it out. So that is one of the best things that I do love about this country, that it forces you to think outside the box and to figure it out.
Hey, Manuel, do you think that? And we got about 10 more minutes, but do you think that Dominicans think that Americans are wussies?
Or what?
I'm sorry, we
crybabies.
Right. Yeah.
I don't think. No, I don't
Overall,
know, man.
like that, you don't see him like saying like, "Hey, look at that gringo walking by. He's just such a crybaby, and he just think we supposed to give him everything." Do Dominicans say that?
No, I don't. I wouldn't say that, because the average Dominican, like the regular Dominican, when they see a gringo, they see dollars. They see, well, he might have money. He's gringo. Let me go sell him something.
All right,
You want to buy this?
I'll help him get to the bus station or something.
Yeah. Oh, now that you talk about public transportation, I think that would be like someone in the States that have been used to a better life, and they come here to use public transportation. They will be traumatized.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, and that for me, that like, let's do it one more time. It's been a long time I don't take public transportation because I have my car. But if I have to do it, that's not new for me because I've done it before. I've been there. So, but if you, like someone like Rico, has to come here and take like one of those little cars,
you're right.
With
You're
6 or
right.
7 people inside.
You're right.
You'd be like, no, I don't. This is not for me.
Manuel, you're absolutely right. I got in a Toyota, a 4-door Toyota, and Manuel's right. And listen, it was jam packed. Me and Domingo was in the back seat, and it was already 4 people in the back seat. And the taxi guy, the chauffeur, he pulled over, and I was like, "What? It's no more room." And he was like, yes, it is. He's like, "Everybody scoot over a little bit more." And I was like, we don't have no more room back here. And Domingo had to get on top of me, and the guy leaned on top of me, and he put his head on top of my head, and we stayed like that until we got to her mama house. I was like, we drove with 7 people in a Toyota Camry for like 5 minutes, and so Manuel's right.
Yeah, I mean he's absolutely right because I've seen him, but I ain't never seen him from the inside. I ain't never seen him from the inside, and I never will. I don't know what it looks like inside. I have no idea.
We're gonna do a ride one day, me and you.
Shit, not with me. Nope, it's not happening.
No, but something that I really would like Americans to know, that if you're gonna come here to live here, remember that you are no longer on vacation. You live here now, because when you come on vacation, prior to those vacations, you save up money. Like, okay, I will take $4,000 to the DR. I will party, and so you come down here with $4,000, which is a good money if you're on vacation. And then you say, okay, this life is perfect. No, it is not. You are on vacation, and you brought a good stack of money to spend. If you're coming down here to live here, please, you need to have a source of income. You need to, don't come here thinking that everything is cheap, because you're gonna you're gonna face reality, and then you will be like, oh, I'm broke in the United States and I'm broke here again.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's better to be broke in the States, I guess.
Yes.
You have free health insurance. Is it
Yeah.
free?
It's pretty much.
And
It's free-ish.
you have food stamps. You
Yep.
have well, how is it called?
Medicare,
section 1,
Medicaid,
section 2 when you
Medicare.
get out.
Section 8 housing.
Medicaid, blah blah
Yeah.
blah. So, but if something happens to you,
Unemployment, you got a lot of
unemployment, you have a lot of benefits that you don't have here. If you
Mhm.
don't work here, you are gonna starve.
Yes. And you know what? I think that's why I said I think, you know, it's everybody wants to, like you said, man. Well, everybody, it's too many YouTubers are pushing the narrative, and Coach used to do it all the time, like how cheap. And I'm like, that's not necessarily the case everywhere. And even if it is, so even if you can get a $400 or $300 a month apartment, and like again, are you conditioned? He talked about the high volume of noise. I'm like, we don't have that in the States. There are very few areas you live in the state that have consistent, constant, high volumes of noise like you hear in the DR. Because you call the fucking police, the police actually come and lock somebody up for making all that noise. That's not going to happen in the DR. You know that. The chickens and the roosters and the loud noise and like that's okay for them. And I'm like, you can't tell me you 50 years old, you've never been around that shit for 50 years, and you're gonna come to the DR and save a couple $100, you're gonna get used to it. I'm like, no, the fuck you not. I have gotten used to fewer things as I've gotten older than more things. I'm like, if you 20, 25, maybe. If you above 35 to 40 years of age, the older we get, the less things that we want to change about ourselves. So you have literally got to say, I want this, and bring all your American ideals that you're used to, and then you got to be prepared to pay for it. Because when you pay for it, it ain't going to be no $200 a month place. It's going to be $800, $900, close to $1,000, but you're going to get everything that you're used to for that money. If you want something for $200, you're not getting none of that shit, and you shouldn't be looking for it. You should. I went to Coach's house. Oh, Rico, you like my apartment? Yeah, if I'm not gonna fucking sweat to death. It's hot as hell in here. But
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? But that's,
I had the fan on your ass.
that fan didn't do nothing. All that fan did was move the heat. The heat moved from the left to the right. And that's all I'm saying is like, yeah, that's what he getting what he paid for. It's hot as a motherfucker in here. He paid for it to be hot.
Right. Mm-hmm.
That's all I'm saying. So it's like, I couldn't get mad at him. Why you ain't got no goddamn air? He ain't paying for no air conditioning. He's not paying for it.
Right.
John,
Right.
do me a favor and take down my other one.
You gotta get rid of one of your other one, Nikki, because you got
Your audio. We're gonna do it on your audio.
Yeah, can you take it down? It won't let me do it.
Let me see how. How I can do it.
So when I just double click on it and drop it.
Okay.
So when I tell people, I'm like, if you know, and to be honest with you, like Coach, but I'm like, if y'all ain't used to Dominican heat, don't be talking about you get no place with no air conditioning. Don't be telling yourself that bullshit. Because I can tell you, 95% of Americans are not. I'm like, y'all gonna have a fucking stroke in your living room.
Well,
It's
hot, and I'm not gonna go another year without an air condition, but I played baseball for 35 years in the sun every single day, and I was used to the heat, so the heat didn't bother me. So
95% of Americans, they ain't play no fucking baseball.
Right.
Nowhere.
Right.
We laid our fat ass underneath air conditioning. So when we come to the island, even when why do you think You see any resorts without air conditioning? They all got air conditioning. They all got hot showers.
Hot water.
Yes, they
Yeah, 95% of Dominican houses don't have hot water. But
Really?
yeah, of course not. But it is not because people cannot afford it. It's because we don't need
They're used to it.
And we don't need hot water. Why would you need hot water in a weather like this?
Yes.
I mean, that's Dominican mindset. Maybe you don't see it that way, but
no. But here's the thing, man. Well, I agree with it, but my mind is so conditioned to hot water. We take hot showers in the summer. So literally, what I'm saying is the American mindset is you don't feel clean unless you take a hot shower. Your brain is conditioned. Our brain is broken to needing hot water. Yeah. I don't care if it's 1,000 degrees outside. And that's what I'm saying is, do you know how hard it is to untrain your brain to certain things that you didn't grow up with? So stop saying, oh, I just go there and I can. No, you can't. No, you fucking can't.
Yeah, we take showers not only to clean our body, but also to feel fresh because it's always hot. So you take a shower. Oh my God, it's really hot. I'm gonna take a shower so you can feel like fresh air in your body. That's what we do. But air conditioning, even though it's not that expensive, because the one I have is a small one and I pay $350, $350. But you have to pay electricity. That's the trick. That's the trick. Yeah. So having AC for the average Dominican is a luxury.
See?
Gotcha. Man, that's awesome, man. We we're so different in certain type of ways, and I just really love it. I love how we're talking about this. And Manuel, you really help out a lot, you and Junior, because you guys are Dominican born and raised. So that's it really takes it to a different level. So on that note, y'all got anything else, like final thoughts, or anything y'all want to talk about?
I'm glad to see your cockeyed ass found the truth.
Oh man, yeah, I was, but yeah, like I think Manuel said something like, John, you wasn't lying, but you wasn't telling the truth. Remember, you left that message, Manuel?
Yeah. Yeah, you're saying the truth.
But now you're starting to tell like exactly like Americans, you guys are not used to this. Yeah. So yeah. Right.
Mm-hmm. I've been begging them to say that, man. Well, I'm like, look, I'm not. You bougie. I'm not built for it. I'm not. I'm not going to pretend, and I don't think it's like I'm better. It's like you got to give me another 30. Check with me in 30 years. I might be used to all the shit Manuel used to. But today, hell no.
Right.
Check with me in 30 years. If I'm still alive, I might be used to it. But he didn't get used to it day one. He had his whole lifetime growing up, experiencing all these things. And he got, I'll tell you this. I'm as used to the hot as his ass is used to the cold. Mm-hmm. So I'll match him in the heat, and he can match me in the fucking in 8 feet of snow, which he would lose his mind in.
I know, but listen to this, Manuel and Junior and Nikki. Back in the 40s and 50s, we had to deal with a lot of what you guys dealt with in the United States. Our grandparents and great grandparents, they didn't have no hot water. They had to go to the well and all that stuff. So it hadn't been like that all the time. That just changed like in the 60s and 70s.
You ain't 10% of your grandmama, so don't you dare fix that shit. You ain't 10% of the fucking goddamn man your grandmama was.
Hey, Manuel, tell them about La Letrina, the outhouse.
Oh, they will never get used to that. That's a bathroom. That's a bathroom outside of the house.
I know. That's what I said. My mom and my grandparents, they had an outhouse. We didn't have that.
Your spoiled ass never had one.
In San Cristobal, I went to outhouse in San Cristobal about 8 months ago. They still got outhouses back there.
Nigga, you
almost fell down
tried the
one
porta
when I was a kid.
potty.
Say what?
I won't use the porta potty. Oh,
Now,
hell no.
This wasn't a porta potty. This was a concrete hole with a little house.
Really?
Yeah.
We had it at my grandfather's house.
So what you do with the toilet tissue when you wipe yourself?
What toilet
You throw it
tissue?
down the hole.
What you mean you throw it?
Junior say, what toilet tissue?
You throw it in the hole.
What you mean? I don't understand because I don't understand. What
What do you mean?
throw it
There
in
was
the
a hole, right? There's a concrete slab, a hole. You poop in the hole and you throw the paper down the hole.
But how does it
It's like a
flush?
cesspool.
How does it
It's like a
flush?
cesspool.
How does it flush?
It doesn't flush. They
So
come
what is the paper
and
just
they,
sitting on top? The paper sitting on top of the hole.
inside the hole.
Man,
John,
well,
it was pretty deep. It was about from the top to. It was about 4 or 5 feet.
Junior, tell me if
down.
you shit enough, yeah.
I grew up
sit
with
on
it.
top.
I grew up with it, so you can see the shit from the top. You look at it
Yeah.
and you can see it. Yeah,
A
yeah,
lot of shitting.
yeah.
Nikki,
You
I'm
can
sorry.
see it like.
I know you're eating, Nikki. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you would be like, "Who did that one? I didn't do that one." Yeah, that's not my color. That's not mine. Yeah, that was John's. Yeah, but that's something else. The food. I see that you John, you are from Louisiana, correct?
Right.
Yep.
And food, you got a lot of food in Louisiana. That steaks, food. You have a lot of options.
Mhm.
So as a regular American in Louisiana, you don't need to make a lot of money to go to different places to eat at least once a week.
Yeah.
Correct me.
Yeah, that's fine. That's
Like
right.
like a regular person, can you go once a week to one of those places to eat something?
Different.
But as a regular Dominican, that's not happening. You're gonna eat the same thing every day. You're gonna eat rice, beans, chicken, beef, green salad, plantain, eggs, salami.
And that's it.
What else, Junior? That's it, right?
And-
You're gonna eat
Avocado.
eggs in different avocado
and bread.
and bread. We eat a lot of bread, and sometimes spaghettis. That's it. That's it. That's it. Oh, onions on the food. But it's not like you will have like you will be able to go out very often because that will kill your budget
Yeah.
for a regular
And
Dominican.
in the US, I don't care how poor you are. I mean, you still might go out and eat shit, whether it's processed food or whatever the case may be. And I try to tell people, it's not that we don't have ghetto people eating ghetto shit, but pretty much anybody in America, like you said, Manuel, can go out once a week and eat somewhere.
Yeah.
It
So
just
what would happen if it was World War III and everything went to shit in the United States? Do you think the Americans could survive that? Like here in the DR?
You and Rico will be able to survive, but the young ones, they're gonna die. The kids,
The ones
they
that
will
go
not.
to
They will not
they're
handle it.
fine.
The young ones, young Americans, they will be like, "Oh my God, we don't have Wi-Fi. Oh shit,
yeah.
yeah. Oh God,
What am I gonna do? TikTok's
Hey,
not
look,
working.
let me ask you this. Let me ask you this, man. Well, maybe you could tell me. Because I'm glad you mentioned the Wi-Fi. Like, is that a wildly common thing in
That's a good question.
in most Dominican households?
Right now, people have what we call paquetico. Paquetico is like you buy internet. No, you just go to the grocery store, El Colmado, and you give them 100 pesos, and you will have internet for 3 days. They send it to your number.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a digital package. What's your number? Da, 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 da. What's your company? So 3 days internet. So the majority of people, that's what they have in their phones.
Okay, so most people
pay as you
even
go.
something like Wi-Fi. Most
So I'm going even deeper. What Rico's asking? Do they have home internet? Most people.
A lot of people do. Yeah, in the rural areas, they probably you have places where they don't. But
do you think more than half?
More than half of houses in the Dominican Republic, no more than half. No, because we have very, very poor areas where they are not able to afford Wi-Fi. No, more.
See,
no
and
more than
that's
half.
weird because, like you said, probably almost everywhere in the U.S.
Nah, maybe
they
I
have
would say
home Wi-Fi, and that's why See, even something like that. So I would let me ask you this. So even so here's a question like most people I guess need to know is and I don't know, I guess maybe for me, and I really can't even say because I haven't really been much outside of either Punta Cana or Santo Domingo. So I've been to Santo Domingo a lot, but both of them I know have a robust Wi-Fi internet area.
Yeah.
And when I come back in March, I plan on trying to travel more of the country. So my question is, like, when you travel more of the country, are there places that in the DR have a lot of dead spots where you can't get Wi-Fi?
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. But the Rico is not going to those places.
No, there's parts in DR that
here's
don't
the
have
thing is I plan
internet,
on
Rico.
going in March, and the reason why I'm asking is that I plan on going and filming and doing some coverage. So that's something that people need to think about too. When people are like, oh, I'm going to Harakoba, I'm going to this. I'm like, look.
Yeah, you got
these
internet
places
on those
don't
places.
have great
You'll have
internet.
signal. You'll have signal. In Jarabacoa, you'll have signal.
Well, I'm just throwing some names out, but I'm like,
but there might be places where you don't. Yeah.
And so there are towns that have a lot of dead spots where you like your ass might move there and you're gonna be struggling for internet. Okay.
Yeah, but not everybody has Wi-Fi, home Wi-Fi, but the majority of people with smartphones, they have internet. I mean, they don't have Wi-Fi in their houses, but they do have internet in the phone. Because you have you can go and buy like 100 pesos of internet.
But you still have to be in an area where there's because internet. What I try to tell people, internet rely on towers.
You need signal.
You gotta have signal from. And if you're in an area where they don't have fucking towers and you ain't getting no signal.
I have a question, a serious question. All right, we have this box, right? And we use it when I leave the house. I use it, right?
Yes.
Okay, I just turned my T-Mobile off so they don't charge me, and I just use the box. But Dominga has a phone number, and she doesn't have T-Mobile or Sprint or AT&T
Wi-Fi calling.
Now, how does she still have that same phone number? And for the last 2.5 years, and it's a phone number, but how did she get the phone number? And she's not paying nobody.
It's Wi-Fi calling. And let me do me a favor. Go
ahead, Jimmy. Go ahead, Jimmy. Hey, Jimmy.
Let Rico finish. No,
real quick. Click on Pill for Real. Next to last comment. I'll be real short. All the way down, after like Wi-Fi. One more. Oh, right there. The only thing that you got to be careful about is this. I agree. The portable router, a router doesn't give you Wi-Fi. A router just simply sends Wi-Fi to your device. That's what a router does. What we're talking about is you can be in parts of the country. To get Wi-Fi in any country, it requires towers. Same with phone calls. You have to have cell towers, which is what sends the signal over the land. So if you're in an area, even with the portable router, and they don't have a lot of towers, you're not getting shit. You're getting nothing because there is no signal for the router to grab to send to your device. The signals come from the satellites to the towers, from the towers all over the world in every country. They get cell towers, which is with a Wi-Fi, and then to the router. So even your internet in your house is getting the signal from towers. We just don't see them, and we think they're fucking invisible. If you don't have enough in your area, you ain't getting shit.
That's right.
Go ahead, Junior.
And there you go.
All right. So the issue.
Let me say it one more time. Dominga she does not have a phone bill, but she has a phone number, and she just uses this and the internet at home. So where's the number coming from?
Okay. So in DR they have where you can buy a SIM card. Okay. See that?
That's
And
a
it'll
SIM
show a
card.
SIM card for 100 pesos, and that has a number. As long as you recharge it, recharge it with 50 pesos, you can use that forever. You don't have to have a plan because those SIM cards come with the first 100 pesos comes with like a couple minutes, maybe 200 minutes, and like maybe a gig of Wi-Fi. Okay, so mostly people use it just to have an active number, and they use Wi-Fi, someone's house, the router.
So time out. Okay, I understand that part. So when Dominga paid for it the first time, she can go 10 years and not have to pay on that phone number.
As long as she puts the lease is 50 pesos, every it's I think 3 months, Manuel, right? You can keep it for 3 months. After 90 days, they'll cut you off.
You need to reload, like
like
once in a while,
Yeah.
so you keep the number active.
Yeah.
So what happens if you don't? What happens if you don't reload?
The company disables the number, and now the number is public, and someone else pick the number and get it. It's available for someone else now.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
I mean, I've had the same number for like 7 years, same phone number.
So my wife pays about 50 or 100 pesos every so often.
50 pesos. Yeah, that's a recharge, like minutes. She adds minutes every so often, so the number stays active. And she doesn't lose it.
I never knew that. She see that I didn't even know that.
Welcome to a third world country.
Let me just say this, just so I can correct people for real. Again, he keeps saying I'm wrong. No Wi-Fi works nowhere in the world without cell towers.
That's right.
Period.
That's right. That's
nowhere in the world. So if you don't, and what we're saying is, you can get to an area that has so few cell towers that there's no fucking signal. I'm not saying that you can't get Wi-Fi everywhere in the DR, but it requires towers to be able to broadcast a signal. All we're saying is there are parts. I don't know what area. I was asking Manuel Pilfery. You keep saying what area. They're telling you there are areas on the island.
Yeah, close to me.
Sparse that they don't have enough fucking.
There are areas here in San Cristobal where you don't have signal. Like there are places here in San Cristobal that you don't have.
But no,
places
according to him, according to him, there's nowhere on the island you don't get it. So I'm gonna let him be the expert. You don't know what the fuck you talking about, Manuel.
Yeah,
you can't.
Yeah, you got like a lot of places here where the towers are so far from the people.
The signal doesn't broadcast. That's all I'm saying. So before you say, "Oh, I'm gonna build a house in the compo there," okay, well, you just be content with not having service.
Of course, if he's trying to say is that the country has gotten better when it comes to coverage, yes, it has. But
I agree.
Still have places where you have no signal. Yes,
there's a few small places in America that have dead spots. Not many.
Like Louisiana and Mississippi.
Shut the hell up. Not many, but we do still have some. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying, Pill, for real. It's just like you know, and it's not just DR, it's Africa, it's all through Latin America, parts of Asia. They're just not as developed. It'll take them a little bit more time. And when they do, it'll be a moot conversation. But that should be built into your consideration, because some people want to come to the country and live off the grid. Okay, well, if you're going to live off the grid and off the map and up in the compos and, you know, this, that, and whatever, and away from everybody, then you might not be able to talk to any fucking body, okay? That's all.
Right. Man,
I FYI, the majority of Americans, the majority, not all of them, that come to live here they are not able to afford rich Dominican life. They're able to afford middle-class life, you know, live comfortable, but not rich. So don't think that you are just going to come down here with $1,000 a month of your retirement and live like a king. No, that's not happening.
Yeah, you have, Manuel, I appreciate that, because, hey, I received disability and I don't receive $1,000. I receive a little bit more than $1,000, but I really have to budget my money, and my wife, she's great at budgeting. I don't, I got the best wife in the world because she count every penny. But I gotta talk to my wife about, she take 50 or 100 pesos every so often, and it's not on the budget paper, and she reloads her card. She reloads her phone.
John,
My wife,
don't
my
even
wife
mention that to her. She's gonna kick your ass. That's
Hey,
100
come
pesos
here.
every 3 months.
Yeah, but we got a list of expenses, and that 50 pesos, 100, 200 pesos is not on that sheet.
150 pesos is a Coca-Cola, brother. That's just put it on the budget as an extra Coke.
But the thing is it's irrelevant.
She does not.
Pero dime.
Dominga does a budget, and she does not tell me about the money she spends on her phone. Ask her why she doesn't tell me about the money she spends on her phone.
Junior, resuelve eso ahí.
No, I'm not getting involved in that.
Oye, Dominga.
I'm not getting involved in no.
Que ellos dicen que los 50 pesos que tú pones recarga para mantener el número de teléfono activo. Yo le dije que para mantener un número de teléfono activo hay que ponerle una recarga, aunque sea cada 2 meses, aunque sea de 50 a 100 pesos. Y él dice de que eso no tenga el presupuesto, esos 100 pesos. Pero es lo que te enchelcha. Dale
John, she spends 100 pesos on it, John. 100
Dale un
pesos.
cocotazo.
It's
Dale
not
un
on the
cocotazo, Dominga, ahí, por favor.
Bye. Gracias.
Donald habla mucho. No te
Sí,
lleves de lo que él dice.
haciendo chiste ahí.
I gotta watch my pockets. My wife might be trying to steal some of my money.
What money? Oh, broke ass nigga. Dominga had to laugh at that shit.
Yeah.
Hey man, that was awesome. We got to keep having more, conversations like this, and it was awesome how we share our differences and it's really respect. Go ahead.
I used to work in call centers, me and JC, and you know that sometimes we see the owners. The owners, they come here to check their business. Like the real owners, these people, they have a lot of money, like they're wealthy. Some of them are white, some of them are black, whatever, but they have a lot of money. And I don't imagine these type of people living how I live with my limited resources. I just don't see those people having the struggle I have. No, I don't think so.
Hey, I haven't seen the movie yet, but I'm gonna find the name of the movie. Maybe somebody on our 50 people that's watching right now. It's a movie where something happens on the boat, on a cruise boat, and the Latino lady that cleans and mops, and she's like the cook on the cruise line boat. They get stranded on an island, and she ends up being the boss of the rich white people and the rich black people and the spoiled Americans and all of that stuff. I gotta find out the name of that.
That's a movie, right? That's not reality. Oh, okay,
No.
I got it.
No.
It's all coach made up shit, right?
No. It's awesome, but I gotta watch the movie. I'm gonna find the name of it and tell y'all about it. But somebody was saying about it, the Latino cook and the lady that made the least amount of money. She was telling the multimillionaires, like, this is how we gotta live. You gotta go get the wood. They were stranded on an island, and she became the boss lady. And it was, I gotta find the name of that movie, but it just came out.
Let me tell you this. This is my last live until for good. I'm not coming back. I appreciate the time you let me up, but I'm not coming back up again unless you have a panel of all men and we sit around and talk about how thirsty we are for some big booty bitches and nothing else of substance. You done fell into the trap of this truth shit, and I don't want to hear the truth. We all came here to live in the fantasy. So unless you're gonna go back to sitting there talking about how you getting all the big booty bitches and all this and everything else, I'm not coming back.
We're gonna do a last time. No, all right,
I'm here for the mongering. I need to see some big booties on the thumbnail. If I don't see no big booties on the thumbnail, I'm not coming back to this shit.
Nikki, why are you so serious,
man? Nikki, we gotta. Hey, I gotta get more passport bros and ass and titties on here. So I'm sorry. We gotta talk about that.
You can't come back no more, Nikki. I ain't coming back, Nikki, up here. I'm not coming unless you're gonna twerk for us. Unless you're gonna twerk for us and tell me how I'm a piece of man candy. If you tell me I'm a piece of man candy, maybe some bullshit like that to make me feel good about myself.
Those channels make more money than they have more views. They have more views than us.
Y'all telling too much truth up here. I don't like that.
Yeah, we need some. I'm gonna put some fake women on my
that you ain't never seen and don't know where the hell they from. That AI shit is this AI shit they doing nowadays is winning. They doing a whole lot of AI stuff. So
that's right.
But no, this is good. I'm brother, I'm glad you found the truth. And as long as you continue to tell the truth, I will be here to support you 1,000%. And if I catch you lying, I'm gonna slap you upside that water ass head of yours.
Yeah, that's right. Oh, and last thing, Manuel. I don't know if you saw the link. I saw the video. I got rejected, and I went into the emergency room, and I had to get this thing cut out of my head.
Oh, wait, hold on for you leave. I'm glad you're here, Manuel. Don't you leave. Don't you leave. Oh, I got some words for you and Coach. You too. Manuel, I got the smoke for you and Coach. I'm going to find the live. And I'm gonna find a live where y'all both came up here and I was like, Coach was like, nah, Rico, you ain't gotta pay no money. You can go there for free. They gonna take care of you and all this and all that. And I was like, nah, man, I ain't what I heard. And you came out, you gave, I remember your words specifically. You was like, they take you in, no matter who you are. And it's according to priority and the list. And I was like, damn, yeah, that sounds all good. You got neither one of you lied. You didn't lie about anything. But y'all left a lot of shit out in the conversation. And then Coach in
the emergency room, Manuel.
Yeah, the emergency room, because the Coach was like, oh, Rick, I went in there, I got a shot. They let me go, and I'm good. And I kept telling him, like, nah, you better get some fucking insurance. You better get some insurance. I don't need nothing. They gonna take care of you. I'm like, nah, that's some bullshit. But him and you both told me, shut the fuck up, Ricky. You don't know what you're talking about. Till he got his big ass head busted. Then he found out what I said was true. If you ain't got no fucking insurance or money, they gonna kick your ass out.
So you saying Domingo busted him in the head? He had to go to the ER.
Yeah, then I'm like, wait a minute, that's a different insurance story you told from the last time, and Manuel, you co-signed it.
Here's the story for everybody.
John,
go ahead.
Did you go to a public hospital or to a private one?
I went to a public emergency room, like I always do.
Can you get Domingo here?
And they said they couldn't fix his big ass head.
Yeah.
They not fixing that big ass head.
I'm gonna get Domingo. But
public hospitals, if it's a public hospital, I've been there 1,000 times. You pay $0.
Right.
They sent his ass out of there.
But they
kicked him out.
Let me tell the story real quick. So quick. I had an ingrown hair in my head, and it turned into pus, and it was hurting really, really bad, and it got really big.
And you see that head, right? You see
how big that head is.
They were like, "Oh my Lord, this is a lot of work." Go ahead, finish.
All right, and then We went to the emergency room because Domingo said, like, yeah, we got to get that cut open and we got to get it clean because it's infected and we got to, got to get some medicine for it. So I went to the emergency room, public emergency room, like I had before in San Cristobal and everything.
Yeah, which is free if it's
So
public.
he thought.
Uh-huh.
So it is, and it is free. So I went in there.
Till they saw your head.
Shut up. Then they said we cannot cut your head open and drain the pus out your head.
Uh-huh.
And I was like, why? They was like, you have to go to a clinic or you have to go to a private. But before that, let me say this: when I have spasms and I have pain in my back and my neck, they gave me a shot and they gave me some pain medicine and they gave me an IV and they didn't charge me any money. And that happened 3 times. So I was telling the truth, just like. But this time they turned me away, Manuel. Why did they turn me away?
So you was telling.
I don't know where you went. Is that a big place or a small one?
Just one Bosch public hospital, a public.
I'm going to tell you what happened.
I have no idea.
I already know what happened.
Go ahead, Nikki.
Because it happened to me. I had a rash on my neck or something. I can't remember what it was. And I think it was like the water was like irritating my skin. So I went to that same hospital, John, and they told me we can't fix it here. You have to go to a dermatologist. But here we can't. There's nothing we can do for it. I mean, we can tell you to purchase these little different things here, maybe. But no, they didn't. No, they didn't. They told me to come back and talk to the dermatologist because they were there like once a week or something like that. So I returned to see the dermatologist. And then they gave me a list of like 5 things that I had to buy to like fix it. And it was like a total of like $100. I didn't get it.
I respect that, Nikki. My head was hurting. I had pus. It was getting infected, and they did not cut my head open and drain the pus out. That's okay. So I was like, why didn't the public Dominican hospital do that? Because that was urgent.
We have, and Junior is going to correct me if I'm wrong. We have a big one which is called Darío Contreras. That's where most people go. That's free. If we didn't have that hospital, you would have like a lot of Dominicans dead in the street. That's the one where they fix those accidents, and if you break a bone, for free. Then in San Cristobal, you have the one you already know. Then you have in Santo Domingo the maternity one where every poor person go to give birth for free. You probably you buy your medication for recovery. That's on you. But public, and especially emergency like that, that's free. Now I don't know what they saw in your face or your head. I don't know.
Okay.
So, no. Put up Keys. I love you, Key. Put up her comment.
I'm thinking it's because of the procedure that
I'm talking
had to
public hospital.
But put
Dominga, ¿a qué hospital fue que fueron que él le estaban cobrando?
Right. So my point is this: is like what Key says. I agree 1,000%. And what we're talking about, if this conversation is about expats, and I will say this to expats again, Manuel, you've been there for 30, 40, 50 years. You know the ins and outs. Junior, you know the ins and outs. If your ass is coming from America, you better get you some goddamn insurance.
Yeah, you need insurance.
Stop the stupid shit.
That's true.
And that shit coach tell you, and anybody else tell you, listen to Punta Bougie Rico tell you, you don't have to get the insurance is not wildly expensive. But please, I want all of our subscribers and listeners to stay healthy, be alive, get some sort of insurance policy. It's not that much. Protect yourself. Don't be walking around here like Coke with them big ass knots on your head with a big ass water head, 4 and 5 head, because he too fucking cheap trying to go to the cheap hospital and they don't want to. I don't blame them. I wouldn't cut on that big ass head either. I've been all day cutting on that.
I have insurance.
Cutting on it.
I have health insurance. Dominga, cuando él fue al hospital, fue a un hospital público que ustedes fueron, al primero. ¿Y por qué no le arreglan la cabeza y le sacaron la puta?
Nos mandaron a hacer una cita y la cita estaba para el 7 de enero.
Por una cita ahí mismo, en el mismo hospital. Pero le estaban cobrando por la cita.
No.
Okay.
Come back, Rico. Come back. This is
Rico,
good.
come back.
No lo atendieron. Eso es
So we had to go to.
Yeah.
Okay, good. I was getting a
Here's the full
refresher. Go
story.
ahead.
Now
What I
I
missed?
understand. Here's the full story. They went to the public hospital, to the emergency. But
Okay.
it looks like that area isn't a specialty. There's the doctor that needs to see that you must make an appointment. The appointment was for next year on the 7th, but they were not charging money to him.
Pero realmente, Manuel,
That's what I just said. I literally just said I had to come back for the same thing. That's what I said.
Okay.
Dime, Dominga.
que si uno no tiene seguro realmente en el hospital público, tú tienes que pagar.
¿Y paga cuánto?
No sé.
¿Para que te atiendan en la emergencia?
No directamente en la emergencia, pero si tú vas por consulta tienes que pagar.
Ah, ok. Ah, porque yo he ido al hospital aquí público y 1000 veces y yo no pago. Tú vas
le pusieron un medicamento para calmarle el dolor y no cobrar.
You gotta buy your medications.
Again, right? See, that's the part, man. Well, all right, stop right there. You and Coke, it's free. But see, now y'all saying you gotta buy your medicine.
Of course.
Yeah, but the consultation
They're
is
gonna
free.
send you home for recovery. Yeah,
Even
but
with insurance, you got to pay for your
But then
medication.
what I'm trying to,
even with insurance, they give you
and this is what I'm trying to tell Coach. It's like the American mindset is different. So when I'm telling people, I'm like, get you some insurance because it's different there. It's not like like me and my wife, we go to the doctor, here's my card. And I think I got strep throat. I went to the patient first clinic yesterday, right? Because my throat was hurt. I went there, I gave him my fucking card. That's it. See me, treat me, whatever, call in a prescription. Fuck you, I'm out. That's what I'm used to. Now you telling me when I go to the deal, oh no, bro, it's not like that. It's different. So I try to tell people, have some insurance.
Right. And I'm gonna get insurance.
Lower. Don't be like Coach going in there. I got a big ass bump on my head. Can you help me? You know, I got a big ass water head. I'm like, no, it's not going to be that.
Don't laugh at that shit. Don't laugh at that shit, dude.
Look at my big ass head.
I had to pay $150 out of pocket, $140.
Head muy grande.
All right, Rico. You made your
point. He had the grande meal from Taco Bell.
Mucho grande.
Don't egg him on, Junior. But
Big
Nikki,
waterhead, motherfucker.
But Nikki, I see what you're saying. You was right or whatever. But I was just surprised they didn't take a scalpel and cut it and drained it, and I was just surprised about that.
You should have had fucking insurance, like I keep telling you.
If you would have went to the Dietary, they would have did it.
Where?
The Dietary Contreras.
What's that?
There's a hospital.
Oh, but I went to the emergency room. It was an emergency room?
Yeah, Dario was in the emergency room.
They fix big heads.
Big heads.
It's a waterhead hospital.
Yeah, it's a big head hospital.
Bring your big headed ass here.
And they was treating the Dominicans and the Haitians, and they turned the American away. I wanted to say, like, hold up, I'm American. Yeah, I'm supposed to.
You see, you don't get no special privileges.
They was walking away. They were sitting there. Hey, Junior, they were like, you see the head on that motherfucker?
That's a lot of draining.
Yeah.
Hey, y'all.
We'd have been mopping all night.
Shut up, Rico.
But if you have insurance in the United States and you go to the doctor and then you get a prescription, you go to the pharmacy to pick up the prescription. Is that completely free? You don't have to pay nothing?
It's pretty much all. It's mostly. You may have a little pay.
If you have Medicaid, yes. If you have Medicaid,
right. Like for oxycodone or gabapentin, I might have to pay 75 cents or $1.
And everything else is paid.
Yeah. Everything is.
And that's what I know we're used to. So I'm like, bruh, it ain't that way over there.
Right.
It's different. So I want, and there's nothing wrong with it. It's just like, put that in your budget.
Yeah, yes, you have to have insurance. Yeah,
Get a plan. Yeah, I think as an American, I'm like, when they told me, somebody said I was in the hospital and they had to bring sheets. I was like, sheets? Sheets for the fucking bed?
Sometimes pillows.
Yeah, I was like, what?
So bring your own toilet paper, your own soap.
So literally, I'm like, no, we're not used to that.
Yeah,
we're not used to that. And don't tell me I'm not going to get used to that. I need some fucking insurance.
They gave me an IV that when they gave me my muscle relaxers, they didn't have. You know how you hook something to hang that, what they call it,
the IV bag.
IV bag.
For the hydrate you and shit. Yeah.
They didn't have an IV holder to hold it, and I had to stand up and hold my own IV.
No. Right. So the average American is gonna lose their fucking mind.
And Dominga, she got tired. She said, "You got to hold your own shit. I'm not holding your shit." I said, "Damn."
Hey, Rico, quick question, Rico. Quick question. This guy, he just passed away. Jimmy Carter, right?
Yeah.
Was he Republican or Democrat? Was he Republican or Democrat?
He was Democrat.
Democrat.
He was president from 76 to 80. He
lived
to be 100.
Right. Years. That's
I want to say he was probably the oldest. I don't think we've ever had a president that lived
that long. He was the nicest president we've ever had. He was like, they said he was too nice and he let people get away with a lot of stuff. But
I want to say his wife died like 5 years ago.
Right.
And I thought he was going to die when she died because they were both very old. They've been married for like 50, 60 years. She died at like 95. He lived 5 more years. Yeah, but that's a little disappointing. And it's weird because he didn't have like what people considered a great presidency. But I think he'll go. Here's the thing I'm gonna tell everybody about Jimmy Carter, right? You can think, and I'm old enough to have lived and remembered. I was living when he was president. Okay, because I was born in 64. He was president from 76 to 80. So I was fucking alive during Jimmy Carter's presidency. I lived in Washington, D.C., where that motherfucker was president at. Him and his brother Billy Carter. And I forgot the daughter name. The wife was Rosalind. The daughter, I forgot the daughter. He had one kid. But when after he ran for 4 years, he lost to Reagan. Reagan took over. They did the little bullshit. And they tried to trash his presidency. But what he became wildly famous for afterwards was he became very big with homes for habitat, homes for humanity, something like that. So he became very big with this program where they were going all around America and they were building affordable housing for poor people. And like for the next, like I said, he ended in 80. How many years is that? Fucking 70, 60, 70 years? For like, that was his legacy to me with Amy Carter. Thank you, Kicks and Travel. Yes. His legacy was Homes for Habitat. And I've worked with that organization several times where you go into like certain parts of America for poor people and people volunteer. And we actually, I don't know shit, but I'm standing out there. You tell me with a nail, a motherfucking nail, or do something, and people volunteer all over the country. Yeah, Plains, Georgia. I'm glad to see how many people have remembered him, and especially in a semi-positive way.
So Manuel and Junior, he was one of the guys that would grab his saw and hammer and nails, and he was the president, and he would be working on homes and stuff, building homes and moving sheetrock and concrete and stuff like that.
As an active president?
No.
Not as active. Probably after he got out of office, but he did it before.
But he didn't have to do that stuff.
He didn't have to do it. None of the other motherfuckers do none of that shit. But he did it afterwards because he was like he was from Plains, Georgia. He was a peanut farmer. So he was a farmer before he became president. He raised peanuts, like the regular fucking peanuts that you crack open and people would eat. And
he had a really good heart. He had a really good heart.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, just a really good heart. People, so
he shouldn't have been president because he was too goddamn good for it. To be honest, because most American presidents are fucking assholes and pieces of shit. To include Obama, to include the motherfucker that's coming in now, to include Biden, to include all of them. Most American politicians ain't shit.
Right.
But he was a good man, which made him not a great president. Because if you were a good person, you're not going to be a good president.
Yeah, he was. They said he was too soft. Yeah.
And I would say the same thing in the DR. If y'all ever have a good man that becomes the president of the DR, he's gonna be a terrible president. You have to be an asshole to be president.
Right. I'm gonna say this, and then we'll cut it off, y'all, because we gotta go. But I asked Dominga and my in-laws, I just like, I say, did y'all like Trujillo or Trujillo? How you say his name? Trujillo. And I said, Trujillo. I said, was he a good president? And that's all I asked. That's all I asked. And don't you know, out of the 10 people I asked, they all said he was the best president we ever had. He was amazing. And I'm just telling you, from the Dominicans that I have talked to, and every day, and next month, I'm gonna ask 10 more Dominicans. And those 10 Dominicans.
You got that shit on video?
No, I don't want to video them, but maybe I will. Okay. And then they like he did so much for us, and he made our country so strong, and he was so powerful, and he was and I don't say nothing. Well, hold up, let me say this before Junior say this. I don't say, well, I heard he was a bad person. I don't say none of that. I just leave it like that because the feeling when I see their faces, they say like he was the best. Go ahead, Junior.
You know why they say it, and a lot of the OGs will say it, is because the country is not like it is now. Okay, the country now. Okay, you might have had your corruption. Trujillo will send you to get killed in a second, but the country wasn't like it is now. So to them, they feel like all the presidents after Trujillo and whatever have just fucked up the country, put us in a hole. You know, like I said, he had his dictatorship type of ways, but if we had someone like that right now, you think we'd have all the crime that's going on right now? You think you would have fucking the food, how food prices is right now? We wouldn't. So that's why they feel like Trujillo was good, you know, in that time.
I agree with that, Junior. I'm glad you said that. Because I sit there and I looked at the history. I was like, the DR was better doing that dictate. But a lot of countries are better doing a dictatorship.
But then
when you have a dictatorship, it's better because.
But then
fuck around and find out.
But then you hear the women on the women's side, the Dominicans, like Soul or Dominican. It's like, yeah, he had sex with 13 and 14-year-old girls. He was, of course. You know, he would rape women. So I'm like, wow, like it's like there's a.
It's weird.
Yeah, it's weird.
Very weird.
That's why I just shut the hell up.
I look at it and I be like, it was a lot better, but god damn.
Yeah.
Go ahead, man.
And he was also a colorist, might I add.
Yeah. Right. Go ahead, man. Well, go ahead, man. You was about to say something.
Well, we were invaded by the United States in 1916 until 1924, and then Trujillo was trained by the U.S. military. He was one of the best ones, like a soldier. Then they created the Dominican police. Then Trujillo became president in 1930. Yes, 1930. So in 1930, the Dominican population was almost 3 million people, like 3 million people in total. And the majority of the people, like 90% of the people, were illiterate. People didn't know how to read. So it was a different context. It was totally different. So the Dominican Republic was land with people in it. There was nothing else, like a farm of people. So Trujillo was the big boss. So everything that existed after that was built by him because he was in power for 30 years. That's why they say that he built everything. The nigger was in power by 30 years. And he got it. He got the Dominican Republic with nothing. And then 30 years later, you got the pesos. The peso was $1 worth. They were total to the same. The pesos and the dollar. The guy built the central bank and all the factories that existed, but he owned everything. Also, everything was his. I mean, we had a lot of things, but everything was his. But it is true that he built a lot of things. Now, when you ask poor people about a president in the Dominican Republic, I'm not going to talk the United States, the Dominican Republic, they are going to say that the president was good or bad if there was security and people had money to buy food. If people have money to buy food and there is a decent sense of level of security, people will be good. And back in the days with Trujillo, you were able to sleep in a park with $1 million here in your chest, and next day you would wake up with the money there. No one would even dare to touch your money or steal because you will be dead next day.
So the crime, it wasn't any crime.
Zero crime, man. Back in with zero crime because the guy would kill you in the blink of an eye. So poor people in countries like mine, if they got food to eat and they have a little bit of security, people will be good. You ask, how is this president? It is good. That is why in El Salvador,
I'm glad you said it. I was going there next.
He offers people security. They don't care about anything else. People just care that they are able to walk in the streets and they will not be killed by a gang member.
But so, you know what? You know why people feel that way is because, like I said, my wife's Salvadorian, and I've been going there since I went there for my honeymoon in 2014. The first time we went there was 2013, before Bukele became president. And the difference in that country from 2014 to today is unfucking believable. Now, I got relatives there, of course, I'm not going to name any of them. And they're like, oh, he's a dictator. He's this, he's that, and blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, it's secure. I don't give a fuck what y'all say.
Exactly.
My black ass can get out the car. When I went to El Salvador on my honeymoon in 2014, when they would take me through San Salvador, I used to have to lay down in the car so they couldn't see my black ass. Because they knew then it was you'll rob them. Yeah. And there were gangs that ran the. Now, me and my wife was there last year, and I'm going back there this year. I'm sorry, earlier this year. We walking outside. I'm walking down the street by myself at night. I mean, literally, he just completely obliterated all of crime. So now, are they still crying about the corruption? They said, "What?" I was like, "Yeah, but it was corrupt before he became president." But what did he do? He won re-election for another 5-year term with 95% of the vote. 95% of Salvadorians voted for this man to be president because the security was so great. Like now, people who have, they don't call them comados, but it's like comado stores, whatever.
They don't have to worry about tiendas.
Yeah. They're not paying for extortion. They're not paying for protection. People who ride in the buses, all that's gone. I'm like, my black ass who don't speak no Spanish, I'm walking around at night and it's safe and secure. So there is something to be said about a dictator or a strong man that I don't have to agree with it. It matters. It matters a lot. The question
but you're the same person that say the hell with Trump and F Trump.
Because Trump ain't securing us, that piece of shit. He ain't doing shit.
He's a dictator.
He ain't no fucking dictator. He's an asshole. My question to you is this, Manuel. So I think about who was it? Mr. Armando's father.
Right.
So I wanted to ask in particular because I love when he came up. We had a great conversation with him, and in addition to the 30s, during the 1930s when the U.S. also invaded. They also invaded in 1965. I believe it was 64, 65. That was the last time the U.S. invaded Dominican Republic and installed who they wanted to be president because it was Juan Bosch that won or whoever.
Juan Bosch was the president. Yeah.
You got Duarte or whoever, right?
No, Camaño, you got. So there was a civil war. Those the thing.
Yes.
There was a civil war going on.
And that's the other part I always question about with Dominicans, especially around the independence and everything. I'm like, because then I get it. I'm like, I get it why y'all mad at Haiti, what they did. But I'm like, but two times after Haiti invaded y'all, twice. I get the Haitian invasion. You hate them, fuck them, blah, blah, blah. The United States invaded twice. And I forgot about the earlier part, but the later part, I was like, they basically, the people y'all voted for to be president, they said, fuck you, no, he can't be president. Basically, listen to Mr. Armando, his father was like, basically, they came in the U.S. and said, oh, the person y'all voted for, oh, no, not him. Fuck that shit. And we're going to put our guy. And they got their way. So I always wonder, like, when I think about it, and Mr. Armando, Dad, we had a good conversation with him. I was like, so why don't y'all resent, not you, why don't the older people, why are they not mad at the U.S. for doing that? Because if I vote for somebody and you tell me the Dominican Republic come in, they're like, fuck you, we're not gonna do Kamala, we're gonna do Trump, I would hate y'all. Like, how the fuck you gonna come in and tell me the person we picked that won can't be because we got to go with who y'all say. But I don't hear that.
But Manuel, they see it differently from Haitians and Americans.
No, but I'm just sitting there saying is, forget Haiti. Fuck Haiti. Haiti has nothing to do with this conversation. In 1965, we voted for Manuel. And Coach came in and say, fuck no, we ain't going to have Manuel. It's going to be Junior. Why are you not saying fuck Coach? He took your vote away. So I'm saying in 1965, the Dominican people vote was taken from them. The people,
they voted for Juan Bosch. And am I correct, Manuel? Did Juan Bosch have to go to a different country because they planned on killing him or something? He had to.
Yeah, because the thing is that Juan Bosch, he was a good guy, but he had ideas like Fidel Castro. He had socialism ideas and stuff like that. He was good. But then even the church was against, church.
Yes.
Back in 1965, they had a lot of power in the state. Maybe now they don't have as much as they used to have, but they had a lot of power within the states. So we have the Dominicans were revolt against the government. So it means the local army.
So the people voted.
Yes. So people wanted to take the president. People wanted to take the. How do you say in English? Golpe de Estado, Junior.
The influence.
No,
when you take a president down, how do you call that?
Impeach.
Impeach. Yeah. So they took that president down. So there was a revolt because the Dominicans were not accepting the new guy. They wanted to establish whoever they wanted. And then the Dominicans were like winning against the army because it was like the whole country. So boom. So the local government was asking for help to the United States. So what they did, they sent 5,000 army people here.
The 82nd Airborne.
Yeah. So the excuse was that they did not want another Cuba. That was the excuse.
Right.
That was the excuse.
So that's what I'm saying. The U.S. said, fuck who y'all want.
Yeah.
We're going to give you who we want.
Until they left. And so there was what we call triunvirato, like a government of three people. Then they reorganized the elections, and I totally understand what you're saying. Totally agree. Maybe because I was not
Yeah,
alive
you weren't
back
born.
then. Probably I don't know what these people felt back in 1965.
Yeah.
But yeah, it
Right,
makes
and that's
sense.
what I'm thinking. I'm like, y'all are older people. Like, how are you not disgusted that like we voted for a president and they said fuck us, they're gonna give us who they want?
Well, people were not happy back then with the United States, obviously.
Right.
People were not happy. But I understand that why do we in the present, in 2024, do not have that
same anger
sense
towards
of
that,
revenge?
but you're more mad about something even older. That's my question. It's like, look, I get it. If you're gonna be mad about, okay, fine, fucking Haiti, fuck Haiti, fuck Haiti. But why are you not having the same anger? That's all my question is this shit is newer. So why is it like, oh, we love them? Like, how the fuck you love them and you hate them and they did it longer
in
ago?
1965? I don't think Dominicans love the gringos.
I'm like I was born.
Yeah.
That is literally my only, and the only person that's ever come close to explaining it to me was Mr. Ramondo's father. He's the only one that's ever been honest enough to say, yeah. And I was like, everybody, oh no, 18. I'm like, wait a minute, 1844. How about 1965? That's newer. That didn't happen?
Yeah, that did happen. Though the context is a little slight different.
But
yeah.
America came in and said, shut the fuck up. We gonna put who we want to put in. That's the context. And I'm like, and they did it in like 3 months or some shit. They killed 3,000 Dominican people.
Who did America put in?
They didn't leave a president. They left.
No, they didn't leave a president. The guy that they wanted to be president, they came in and put their army to support him. So
the Dominican, the Dominican army was losing the battle against the people. So it was an active like war,
civil
war active. So they were losing. They were like, what do we do now? We lost. So they got who was the president? 1965. In 1965,
Nixon, maybe Nixon. It wasn't Carter.
It was. I don't know. Oh, you talking
Nixon
about
or Lyndon Johnson? One of them two. Maybe Lyndon Johnson. That was around Vietnam. So I'm gonna say it probably was Lyndon Johnson.
Yeah.
It probably was Lyndon Johnson. That was around the Vietnam War.
Lyndon Johnson. Yes.
Lyndon Johnson.
Lyndon Johnson.
Lyndon Johnson. We were in Vietnam and they sent their troops to say, okay, we're not gonna have a fucking Cuba. We don't give a fuck what they want. We gonna tell them what they want. And they sent troops to support the guy that was their guy. And I'm pretty sure that guy called Washington, I'll kiss y'all ass and do what y'all say. Okay, we sent.
Well, you know what? I think that question would apply to basically the majority of Latin American countries where the U.S.
Yes, it does. Nicaragua, Costa Rica,
Panama,
El Salvador,
Panama,
all of them.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm saying. Exactly.
Because I think that since the United States, the second time, they were not against the government, but against the people, and the government has the power to manipulate the narrative and wash people's mind. This is not what happened. This is what happened, and people will believe it.
Yes.
I mean that could be. So the state was not against the U.S. back in 1965, but the people and the United States, they helped the state, that like the government. I'm not saying I agree or disagree. I'm just trying to find an explanation for that. And then we're going to give you money. We're going to give you support. We're going to give you more financial assistance. And that's how, maybe that is why the United States have been able to get away with all that they have done.
But I just look at it from, I don't even figure out, like, I already know how America got away because we're like the most corrupt imperialist fucking country on the planet. It started with England. We learned well, and we learned how to colonize and imperialize other places through puppet governments and proxy wars. Absolutely. What I'm saying is, I just sit there when we're always hearing. I would just say this: anytime anyone ever asks about the dispute between the DR and Haiti, right? The first thing they go to is, 1844, Haiti, I think in 1824 invaded the Dominican side, and I was like, okay, I get that. I agree. I'm not going to disagree with any of that history, because being a student of history, you're absolutely right. In 1824, Haiti came and invaded. They did some atrocities. They did some horrendous atrocities. So I don't want to minimize it. They did some horrible shit. And in 1844, you guys got your independence. And then for, I think, a brief period of maybe 1 or 2 years, they subjugated themselves to Spain, and then subsequently got re-independence from Spain subsequently. I'm like, okay, that's fine. This is all historical facts. I don't dispute any of it. But I'm like, so if you're telling me so when I ask about current day, and I only say it because it's like small-minded people or uneducated people say, this is why we don't like Haiti, because they're up to 1844. I'm like, okay, cool. I get it. I would hate their ass too. We say 1776. But 1776 was the last time we got invaded in the U.S. Nobody came after, because if somebody came after and invaded us and fucked us after, I would hate them too. I just asked Dominicans, why did you stop hating people who invaded you in 1844, but didn't hate people who invaded you 2 times later? Because they were invasions. Like you said, what, 19?
I think Manuel was saying
1916, yes. But
yeah, it was like 8 years.
Yeah, I totally understand. In 1916, 8 years until 1924, the United States invaded the Dominican Republic.
Yes.
But in 1916, of course, the Dominican Republic was 2 million people with a lot of horses and cows.
Right.
Yeah, horses and cows, no electricity, completely illiterate people, so that they will believe anything they were told. Now, according to what I know, the U.S. invaded the island, and they were not like massacring people like the Haitians were.
I agree.
So they were not just killing people randomly, and they were just taking control of the country. What they did is wrong, I'm not saying, but probably the impact of Haiti invasion and American invasion, the impact, I guess, was different.
Okay.
And I agree with you. I just don't have the answer, and I'm trying to find and because I don't have the answer.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that and you know what, man. Well, that's why I love talking to you, brother, because I can love and respect your honesty, and that's why I say it's no pushing it. These are the questions that anytime someone brings up the Haitian, I'll ask them that, and then your answer is 1,000 times better than I get from anyone. The other people will pretend like America never invaded them.
Oh yeah.
That's what I don't like, is they pretend like it didn't happen.
I'm sorry. I have one question for Manuel or Junior, whoever, but I hear, I get 1,000 comments on the YouTube channel, and I try to answer them, but I get a lot of Haitians and Americans to say Haiti freed the Dominicans. And
Haiti what?
Haitian people freed, and I hear like an echo. I don't know why I hear an echo something, but no, that's not. Yeah, that's you, Rico.
That's not me. I was on mute. Go again.
Manuel, go. I mean, Junior, go to mute.
That's Junior.
Yes, Junior. Yeah, keep it on mute. All right, when Manuel
okay,
comes,
the ceiling fan is not that loud, I don't think.
yeah. but I always it was
What was the question? What was the question, brother?
Junior.
all right.
I'm back.
The question is, and I get it all the time. They's like, never forget that Haitians freed the Dominicans from Spain, and we helped them, and they don't never talk about that. And I don't know what the comment is on that, because that ain't none. I don't know anything about that, but I see that comment on the channel on the Dominican route all the time. And what are they talking about, that the Haitians freed the Dominicans?
Did they free the Dominican Republic?
You
could,
go ahead.
That's false. I mean, I think things are getting out of context. What do
So
you
why-
mean?
why-
What?
I don't-
Because
I don't know
before I
why
give you
you-
the answer, I want to understand. I would even like to see the comment, like someone telling me, okay, this happened like this year, this happened like that, this year.
Well,
What I always see.
And let me say it like this. I hear him say the Dominicans never give us respect because we helped them fight and we got them freed, but they don't never tell
that
us
Haitians helped fight who to do what?
to give you guys independence.
So
let me
work together. Dominicans and Haitian fought together. That's what.
No, let me explain to you here, and this is part of a historical truism, is that at the time Haiti was the first country in the Western Hemisphere of predominantly black people to gain their independence. They fought the French, they got their independence. That's undeniable. We all agree with that.
Yeah.
At that time, the Dominican Republic side of the island was still a colony of Spain. And,
yes.
And it still was. It just, at the years, in 1823, 24, the Dominican Republic was still a colony of Spain. Haiti was free of French colonization. They fought them, they defeated them, they beat them, so on and so forth. So at some point later on, and this is the argument that a lot of Haitians make, and I 50% agree with it. Put it like this. I agree with to the point that there were, at the time that the Dominican Republic was still under Spanish rule, there's always been in the DR, there's been multiple groups. So you had some Dominicans that wanted independence from Spain. You had some that didn't. The group that wanted independence from Spain, supposedly they reached over to the Haitians after seeing their independence and asked for their assistance. Haitians then went and said, look, they didn't really, at the time that they invaded the DR to basically and occupy the DR, they did it supposedly under the terms to free all African slaves on the totality of the island. And they did do that. When they invaded the Dominican half of the island, they abolished slavery. So they said Africans and people of color could no longer be slaves. But they did create a lot of atrocities of stealing land from probably a lot of mulatto, mestizo people. They did commit a lot of murder. So in the process of their creating independence in the Dominican side, they created a shitload of atrocities.
So we had, like, Dominicans had a new owner. Dominicans had a new owner now, a new boss.
Yeah,
it was Spain, and now it was Haitians, right? So, but I want to understand where the part
I would agree with that. I would agree with that.
The part that Dominicans, because I see Haitians wanted to get rid of the slavery from the island, and then they freed the Dominican Republic. So you mean you freed them, and then, okay, this is your side. We leave. Right. You stay here. You do your thing. Is that what happened?
No,
I'm not arguing with
that's
you,
not what
Rico.
happened.
Don't get me wrong.
No. I agree with you saying, and I'm agreeing with you. That it was in the essence of, we're going to free you from your oppressors of Spain, but also at the same time they did impose their own will. So basically, in essence,
right
it is one.
If you impose your own will,
they did.
So they did. Is that freedom?
It's not freedom, but this is what
they're like nicer.
Listen,
like the version of Spain, but nicer.
No, but what you have to be honest with though, Manuel, is you can say it's not nicer, it's not freedom from being opposed under one nation to another nation state. But if I'm think about this is all I'm saying. Is an African slave on either side of the island. You are an African that was taken from Africa. So whether you were dropped on the Haitian side and you were owned by French, or whether you were dropped on the Dominican side and you were owned by Spanish. If somebody freed you from either side through bondage, I'd rather be free under Haitian rule than not free under Spanish rule. So I think that that's a misguided way that they're looking at it. But there is some validity to say that, look, I can leave your ass in jail on the Dominican side, or I can come and let your ass out of jail, even though you still poor. You see what I'm saying?
So
I don't agree that
if you are
Haiti is the
kidnapped,
whole island.
because I don't disagree with you. I disagree with the history where the Dominicans are the villains and
No.
and Haitians are the heroes. I see Americans and a lot of people always trying to push that. But here's the thing: if you are kidnapped in your house, and then I kill your kidnapper, and now I tell you, look, you can just go to eat, but you are going to do what I tell you to do. Are you free?
No, but here's the thing. This is the way I think the language of how we're discussing it the wrong way, right? So we describe and we say the Haitians fought and freed themselves from the French, right?
Yes.
And we speak of Haitians that basically we should be saying slaves. People that were slaves, that were enslaved on Haiti, because they weren't Haitians. They were not native to Haiti. They were native to Africa. They were brought to Haiti on that island. So they're not Haitians. They're slaves that fought and freed themselves from their French owners, masters. Then these same slaves went to the other side of the island to fight to free other slaves from their Spanish masters. And this is where the problem, I think, comes in, is that like slaves on both sides of the island are looking, it's like literally you're both fucking slaves. You both were slaves. You had different owners. This side had French, this side had Spanish people. And what both sides are getting caught up in, they get caught up into, I had a better owner than you. I'm like, both of your owners weren't shit. Both of your owners were horrible. The French owners were horrible and they were terrible, and the Spanish owners were horrible and they were terrible. So the reality is this is I'll sit there and tell any Haitian, look, you invaded the country, you did what you did. While it was noble for 20 years, it ran its course and it needed to end. 22 people years. Decided they didn't want it anymore. You go back, let it fucking go.
How many years?
22. 22. Yeah, the Dominican Republic freed itself.
You guys have got to sit there and stop saying that the history of what occurred didn't occur. And I'm not saying that, they did. If you're going to say they oppressed you, they did massacre, I agree with all that's historical fact. But did they free Black people on this side of the island from slavery? Yes or no?
And this side of
they did both things. That's all.
They were the first Black, and they have it in their constitution. First Negro independent. It says the word Negro. It's the first Negro independence.
Okay.
Yes. So I come into your house, I kill your kidnapper. You're free if I let you go. Like, okay, so you don't have an oppressor anymore. I will go back to my house and you do your thing. You need my help? I'll help you organize. That is not what happened.
Right.
So the Dominican Republic, they stayed on the side of the island, and they were the new masters. We were occupied. We were not free. That is a misleading information that for somehow it's been trying to be, but we were not free. Dominican Republic became free, like they got their independence, meaning that we were not independent in the past.
Okay.
They became independent in 1844.
Okay, so
February
let me ask you a
27th.
question. Then, if you were not free, which I'm not disputing that you were, because I don't think you were. I think, like you said, it became a new nation state. Because remember, the entire island even had a name for 20 years, a single name.
Hispaniola.
Exactly. It wasn't Haiti and it wasn't Dominican. For 20 years, the entire island had a singular name. And during that time was when the African Americans from the mid-Atlantic of the U.S. came over to Samana. So that's why Samana has a large African American population. That happened under the Haitian rule. So I call it the Haitian rule when Haiti ruled over the entire island, right? So I'm saying is that if in fact we're going to say, or they felt like they weren't free under Haitian rule, then they certainly couldn't feel free under Spanish rule for 200 years prior to the Haitian invasion.
Yeah,
They certainly could. So again, I always go back to, I'm like, okay, I'm with you guys. Beat the fuck out of the Haitians for 20 years. What about the 200 years before that for whatever reason, oh, that didn't happen. We were living in harmony. I'm like, get the fuck out of here.
No. Dominicans got their independence in 1844. Before
Right.
that, there was not independence.
Right.
We were not free at all. We had
But you weren't slave for only 20 years. You were slave for 220 years.
Yeah, no, we were slaves. I mean, we were occupied but for 22 years by Haitians. Before that, we were owned by Spanish people.
Right.
That's in
so
history.
you were slaves for
We
not
do not deny
20
that part of
years.
the history.
So
what
I'm
I
saying-
deny is the fact
Let him finish, Rico.
what I disagree is the fact that though some people want to say that Haiti freed the Dominican Republic. That is
No.
historically incorrect and ridiculous.
Yeah,
I mean,
and that's what I
that is very
agree.
ridiculous.
I hear that on my channel.
Yeah.
I see that in the comments all the time. Like nobody
Yes.
talks about
No, the Dominican Republic, we had a master. We was Spain. We were
Yes.
not independent. And
Yes.
then what happened is that now our master is not white. It is black. But it's
Okay.
not like it's black people occupying other black people. So you got
Right.
Haitians and Dominicans. But it's not like the Haitians came into the country, to the island, and freed the Dominicans. Now we kill the Spanish people. Now this area is yours. Do your thing. We are going back. That's not what happened. They had
agreed.
the whole island with Pedro Santana. I don't remember all the names of all of them, but we were not free with Haiti. We had
Agreed.
the same situation, but now it is new owners. We got new
Okay.
owners
Right.
in the house, and these times is what they call themselves the Negroes, because
Right.
that's
Right.
what he actually says it in the Constitution of Haiti. Like, this is the first Negro, and this is good, but we were not freed by Haiti. We were just occupied by a new owner.
Mhm.
But
that makes sense.
But-
yeah,
Like
but
I always
Haitians they don't want to say what happens during those 22 years.
But listen, the
There was no
only
flowers.
question I have is why is the history or the remembrance limited to that period of time only? I never hear, but any years outside of that is venerated. Oh my God, you got fucking everywhere in Santo Domingo, you got Columbus ass doing this. And that's the part, if anything, that probably offends me as an outsider. It's like I'm like,
I'm
you
gonna say
can
this.
kick, let me finish. You can kick Haitians from the left side of the ass to the right side of the ass all day and night. I need to see a fucking Spaniard getting kicked in the ass too, and I never see that, and that's what offends me. Because if I saw both of them ass getting kicked equally, brother, I would love y'all to death, but I just don't see that. And that's what
maybe
problematic.
Maybe, and you know why
I just don't see the
this.
towards Spaniards.
Okay, I like this conversation because we are not arguing. We actually agree.
We're agreeing.
We're just see other facts. We actually agree. The reason why I think we kick out Haitians, it's not just because we freed them. If they were a rich nation, this would not be happening.
Like the United States.
Let's say our neighbors, it's Haiti, but they're rich, like a wealthy Qatar, like Qatar. You know, Qatar. There's in the Middle East. It's a very small. It's a very small piece of land, but super wealthy.
Right.
If that would be our neighbors, but Haiti with the exact same people, probably the treatment would be a little different. But besides, we got our freedom from them, our independence. But on top of that, they are the poorest country in the Americas.
In the world.
So you got well, maybe not in the world. I'm
sure in the world, in the Americas.
In the Americas. There's got to be somewhere else in Angola or somewhere in Africa, maybe poor. But we freed ourselves from Haiti. 1, 2. On top of that, they are the poorest in the world.
So you punching down.
But it happened. It's not. I'm not saying that I agree with that.
Right.
I'm saying I guess that's why it happens.
Yeah.
So we got our freedom from you. You're poor as fuck, and you're black.
Punch down.
Yeah. So you got everything. Everything is against you. It's like, why would I need you? Why do I want you here? Just get the fuck out of here. It's not me saying this,
but you're explaining it.
Explaining how.
Right, that's a good way.
Because there will be people maybe taking this little part of the video.
No, this is not Manuel's thoughts. This is him explaining.
Yes.
That's why I'm glad. That's why I feel like I can have the conversation with you. Whether we agree or don't agree, you'll have the conversation and you'll have it educated, you'll have it sensible, and you'll stick with what the history is. So I love it.
Let me jump in. Manuel,
you guys asking to say,
why can't they join together and get along? This I don't understand. This is what the whole conversation explains
why.
Yeah, explains why.
but one thing,
but it's not all of Haiti too. It's not.
No.
Is there certain people on both sides, Dominican side, Haitian side? It's not everyone.
I get so happy every time I pass down the Mali cone and I see this statue. It's the biggest statue in the Dominican Republic, and it's a black man yelling out, "Let my people free and let my people go." But we see the little small Christopher Columbus statue, but there's a man with twist in his head, and he got a black man, wide nose in the Dominican Republic, and it's a statue and it's a monument, and I respect the Dominican Republic so much for that statue, but people don't talk about that black man. And it's the biggest statue in the Dominican Republic.
That statue bigger than Columbus. Stop lying.
It's 5 times bigger than Columbus.
Columbus, we can see the Columbus Memorial from America. It's so big.
As Junior and as Manuel.
I don't know the size of it, but you want me to be honest with you? Number one, we do not worship Christopher Columbus. Number 2, I have no idea why the status is there. Right. I don't know. I don't know if it's a business. If they want people to come take photos, I don't know, because when you go to school here, they don't teach you to worship Christopher Columbus.
But Manuel, the memorial in Santo Domingo.
Why is that bullshit there? Me as a Dominican, I don't know. I don't know what's the purpose behind that bullshit.
Right.
Like, it's been there because you have the El Faro Colón, which is the memorial, you said. It's a huge one. Who built it? It was Balaguer, President Balaguer. What was it here in the construction? He won the presidency in the 66, and he built it in between 66 and 70. Don't remember the exact date. But he's the one who built it. Why he built it? I don't know.
They spent
And here's
$50 million on it.
Nobody on the face of the planet has done more harm or more damage to the entirety of the island of Hispaniola than fucking Columbus.
Mm-hmm.
He is a fucking genocidal fucking mass murderer, rapist. He should be burning in hell for the next thousands of years. So why would anyone anywhere and it's not just the DR, it's all over Latin America.
That's the biggest statue in
the it's bigger than the one from Christopher Columbus.
That's the biggest statue in the Dominican Republic, and it's a black man.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I can see Columbus from America. I ain't never seen him.
Yeah, well, and that's the biggest one.
Let me ask you this one last question, right, before Coach get out of here, right? This is what I am. This is now, Coach. You're gonna like this. You're gonna like this, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, and I'm with you, Manuel and Junior. I fight like fucking cats and dogs, and I tell people all the time. People are like, the DR is black. I'm like, the DR is not a black country. Stop saying that dumb shit. It's stupid. It's not a black country. It's not a white country. It's not an Asian country. It's all. It's a mixture of everything. So, but I also tell people mixed race is not a race. So when people say, "Oh, I'm mixed race," I'm like, no such thing exists. You're not one or the other. You can be one and the other. So you can be more, but that doesn't create a new race. So I can be white and black. I'm not mixed. No, I'm both. You're both. So when I tell people, like, when I'm like, if you're going to racially identify the way science is, you racially identify what you are. If you're black and white, you say you're black and white. If you're black and Asian, you say I'm black and Asian. I'm Asian and white. I'm this. Like, it's okay. So what's ironic to me, or what I would say is, in the conversations that I have with people is, especially, and it's all throughout the Caribbean, right? I know my history is the Caribbean used to have a very big indigenous history, and most of them got killed by the fucking Spaniards. Them Spaniards brought their disease, smallpox, and all that shit, and they killed all of them. That's how they killed them. Same thing they did in America with fucking disease, not guns, disease. So oftentimes I always hear, and Coach says it all the time, Dominicans, like, I look at both of y'all, and I'm just going to use y'all as an example. I'll be like, Junior, what are you? Oh, I'm Spanish and Taino. Like, you notice he didn't say black. I'm Spanish, and I'm like, okay, if you want to pretend you Taino and Spanish, I can see some of that, but I can see the black in you too. Why is that not mentioned? That's a thing. That's a thing that I think for most of us that sort of stands out. It's like, I tell anybody, I'm like, I would tell you, man, why don't you ever identify as one thing and not the other if you're both things? But my thing is, why exclude one of the things that we can look at and say, we can obviously see, bro, you got a little bit. You can't tell me you ain't got none. And I'm just using you as an example. But oftentimes you'll see a light-skinned Dominican who presents like him.
But Manuel Jr. have never said that.
I'm not, goddamn, didn't I say I was using him as an example?
I know it. I was just trying to piss you off. That's
So my whole point is we'll see a lot of Dominicans that look like you, Manuel, and they will identify as everything but black. Oh, I'm Spaniard, I'm Taino, I'm mixed. And I'm like, I heard everything but what?
Black.
And that's what we hear, and that's why the representation. So a lot of times in the conversation, why they always like, no, I'm not trying to say you black, but I'm like, nigga, you got a little bit in you. You can't tell me you ain't none there.
Well, we know that because black people hit more home runs and run footballs faster.
We ain't talking about no fucking baseball with your goofy ass.
Hey, we ain't talking about.
No, what I'm saying is the Latinos are great in baseball because of their black side. They know that.
He extra slow. He extra slow, y'all. Y'all gonna have to forgive his extra slow ass.
No, shut up. I'm just saying the Dominicans know that because they have their African history in them, They hit the ball harder, they run faster, and they Sammy Sosa crush balls because of his African side. They know that. They know that.
That's why they don't let your slow ass out the house.
Well, I'm just telling you.
The only reason why I'm saying it in particular is because if anything probably annoys me the most, and the only thing, and I'll tell about everybody in the Caribbean, is when them motherfuckers holler about, I'm Taino. I'm like, God damn it, you got about as much Taino in your ass as I do. And because what I'll try to tell people is, like, if you study the history, the eradication of Tainos, and if you look all throughout Central America, all throughout South America, indigenous people were destroyed when Europeans came in through disease. So most people, even the way you're in South America, Central America, Caribbean America, they all have some indigenous DNA, but the same way like in North America, very little, because so many of the people have died out. There is not a large population of Americans that have Native American ancestry. There is Native Americans in America probably accounts for like 1%, because we fucking wiped them all out through disease. The same thing happened in Caribbean. The same thing happened in Central America and South America. But yet, people will cling on to that 1% as if it's like 50%. I'm like, bruh, knock it off. There's no 50% of Taino in you, man. Well, it's mostly Spaniard and then African American. And if you have any Taino, you lucky if you got 1 or 2%. Great.
Yeah, I agree. But in Central America, I think they have more influence by the indigenous. If you look at them and you look at people from Mexico and you look at people from even El Salvador, you see them, they basically all the same height. They have the structure of their face. Yeah. They look more like an indigenous than they look like an African person. The way they look is more indigenous than others. So I guess there were areas in the world where indigenous, they lived longer, so they were more
depending on the country, because I can tell you, like, El Salvador has a small African influence. Guatemala, Honduras has a very large African influence. Costa Rica has a large, and Panama is damn near all black.
Yeah, but I've never been to Honduras. But they look like they you're right, they look more African. But I've been to Guatemala. Yes. Guatemala is very, very indigenous.
Very indigenous. Certain parts
very
of
indigenous.
It.
Very indigenous.
But if you go to the part where the Garifun is, very, very big. So it depends on what part. So again, and that's why I said to say is El Salvador, if you know the history, they had a slave uprising. They said, get all these motherfuckers out of here. So that diluted them. But they still have a very large Spanish. The overwhelming majority of El Salvadorians are Spanish looking. So what all I'm sitting there saying is, when you look at all these countries and you look and you know the history, you know how people moved around, and the Caribbean, come on, it was very heavily influenced of an African influence, because that's where they brought slaves to work the sugar plantations and the plantations. That's just the way it was. Yeah. So that's why I say I'm stunned when I see these countries that had large slave populations have this, I'm going to ignore our Afro-identity, when I'm like, bro, you was a country full of fucking plantations. You didn't have Where was the plantation of white people? Oh, that's right, it didn't exist. They were all slaves. They all came from where? Africa. They weren't fucking Asian. So you can't have had a country full of plantations, full of slaves, and not have a heavy African influence. It's an impossibility. So when I see people in these countries completely ignore or pretend like their Afro-identity of any ilk exists, it's embarrassing. It's insulting. It's fucking sad. It's like, what are you doing? Oh, I'm indigenous. I'm like, where?
Yeah. Only in their brain.
Yeah, I'll look at Junior. I'm like, I'm struggling looking at your tie. You probably got some Taino in there. I couldn't find that motherfucker, but it's probably there, right? So I'm not going to tell you.
He's hitting real far.
I'm not going to tell you that it's not there, but I'm like, bro, if that's the first thing you identify as, come on, Junior.
You want to hear something funny? Growing up, I had a friend. We knew each other 10 years. He didn't know I was Dominican until I said I was talking to somebody one day. He says, "You know that shit?" I said, "What shit?" He goes, "That Spanish shit." I was like, "Bro, I'm Dominican. I was born in the Dominican Republic. I came here when I was a kid.
Yes.
But I talk Spanish too." He goes, "Oh shit.
You look 1,000% absolutely unidentifiable as nothing else but an African American. Period.
Exactly.
Full fucking stop." And you
and I will never deny that.
Yeah. Because and I'm gonna say this. Manuel did a video, and I respect him. I had so much respect for him when he did that. And I didn't even ask him to do it. And y'all remember that video when he did that video on the slaves and the sugar cane?
Yes,
and
that was a great video.
That was an awesome video, man. Where was that located, Manuel?
That's here in San Cristobal. It's a little far, but it's there.
Man, wow. And that game, I want to go there one day, man.
No one cares about it. All these schools, they go there. Like schools, they take kids, like go play, and this is what this happened. But kids,
do they teach them what went on?
Oh yes, there is. Yeah. They tell them this was this happened here. Blah 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 blah. When you go there, that's the whole point.
So let me ask you a question: Is that widely taught throughout the schools
about those places?
The place, yeah.
No.
Okay.
I work in the school system.
Right. And that's why I'm asking you, because I know you're a teacher, and I'm like,
they teach what you just said. We were colonized, then they brought Africans, and this happened and all that. But that's it, for real. Mm-hmm. I mean, they don't really go deep into that African history
to explain.
No,
so
exactly.
If you don't do the work don't get done.
Exactly. But when you walk around the Dominican Republic, you see, no one has to tell you, that the majority of the population looks like the four of us. Like the four of us.
Yes.
So we walk, and if you guys don't speak, you guys are another Dominican, right? They look like us. This combination right here, that's Dominican Republic.
Yes.
With the exception of the minority of people that they have like nice long hair, they're white, etc. But this is the majority. This us. Us is the majority in the Dominican Republic.
And you know, it's the irony, right? Because, and like I said, I'm as a precursor to the family, we got something special coming up in a couple of months. I'm not even gonna tell y'all. We got some special content that's gonna be coming out in a couple of months. Myself, Junior, definitely 100% is gonna be knee deep involved. We're not fucking with radio. We leaving him in the house. We might get Manuel, but it's gonna be myself, Troy, Roberto, Junior. Probably get Manuel, and we're gonna travel the whole island. We're not just doing. So I'm not gonna do just Punta Bougie. Just Santo Domingo.
Well, we gotta have Manuel to take us to that spot, that sugarcane spot.
We're not taking your ass nowhere. We're leaving you in the house. But we're gonna do the whole island, and the reason why I'm saying is because I think it is an important conversation and topic and discussion, and I think there's so much more to be said, you know, because I for me, just exploring the island and the different people and topics and places, it'll be like, okay, this is just the DR. Then you can take this trip and you can put this trip in Colombia, El Salvador, Brazil, Costa Rica, Panama, the same thing occurs. And I just think that sometimes we get caught into our bubble a little bit. And I think everybody could, you know, again, like Juan Soto, I think, and I want everybody to be proud of where you're from. And things like that, absolutely. But I just want us to sit there and live in truth, like you said, Manuel.
Yeah.
Good, bad, or whatever side of the coin you live on. And that's why I'm glad, even when we had the conversation we had, it's like, I'm admit, I don't think Haitians freed Dominicans. They came and they freed slaves in the DR side, because there were slaves. Slavery still existed on the Dominican side. When Haiti outlawed slavery, slavery still existed on the Dominican side. They came in and they freed other slaves. And they did some massive fucking atrocities, massive killing, massive oppression, massive all this shit. So I agree with Dominicans saying, fuck this shit. We want you out. We want our independence from your shit too. So I agree with that. I think both sides, there's truism. But I'm not going to sit there and let a Dominican say, like, y'all did have slaves until they fucking came over. They freed the slaves. You don't want to call them Dominicans? Don't call them Dominicans. But there were still slaves that they freed. Now, maybe y'all didn't look at them as Dominican, but they did. So that's where the argument probably lies in. They might go, oh, we freed Dominicans. Well, you freed slaves, and that's a good thing. Because I don't give a fuck if you're a slave anywhere. I want to be free, and I don't give a fuck who come and do it. But I do agree that I think that they did then turned around, kicked out the Spanish, and imposed their will. So in essence, they did become a new master. So I do agree with, I ain't going to use the word master, a new oppressor. I'll say that. Because slavery is a different thing that I want us to think about in a different way. It was really, that was ownership. But yeah, they did become a new oppressor. And then have their new rules, and then was killing all kinds of people. That's historical fact. There's no denying that. But this is in the conversation. I think we stayed in truth, and I think we should continue to do that.
Man, I think.
I know you want to go. I know you want to go, but now that I want to say something, and I don't want you to cut this part of the video.
I'm not.
Okay, this goes for African Dominican. African Dominican, I respect you. And I see the work you're doing. You're always talking about you call yourself African Dominican. And you do a good job trying to show the world our culture, our music, everything we do, and I appreciate that. That's beautiful. I see you wearing Dominican colors, dancing bachata. That's nice. But I've seen videos talking about Dominicans hate Haitians. Dominicans are deporting Haitians no matter what, etc., etc. Yes, there are deportations happening. I have actually talked about it in multiple videos in this channel. But I think the way you do it one-sided. You're always putting the Dominican Republic as the new Hitler in the Caribbean. And I think that is not correct. I think when you do it like that, you are not doing it right. So you are not telling the truth most of the time when you talk about Haitians and Dominicans, respectfully. You continue.
I respect that, man. I appreciate you saying that. And you're talking about African Dominican on the YouTube.
African Dominican, yes, the YouTuber. I follow her on YouTube and on Instagram, but I don't think she has the information when she talks about what's happening. I think she only talks about based on emotions about that subject, and she's not sometimes telling the truth. She's always like putting hate. Like Dominicans hate Haitians. Dominicans don't want to know anything about Haitians. Always that narrative, and that is not right. You live here, and you know that's not the reality.
I respect that. Yep. And as Americans, we have to check ourselves, and I know Enrico, we talked about that too. A lot of times, we have to check ourselves because we hear so many things on the news and betrayal and black, Haitians always get the short end of the stick. But I've seen it myself where Dominicans have actually helped Haitians out, even though they could have screwed over them and messed over them, you know. So, I appreciate it.
I would ask people to read. This is where I get most of my fucking information from, even about the difference, the historical fact. It's like, I take it from literature. I read articles, I watch documentaries. I don't follow fucking YouTubers for my knowledge. Trust me, because I know a lot of radios out there. But there's a lot of radio YouTubers out there.
But I didn't even know back in 1942 they allowed black people to read back in the 30s.
But I could read, okay? They didn't allow me. I snuck and did it. But the bottom line is that's where I try to get most of my information, because I know the written word and written text is more nuanced. It's not full of emotion. So when I'm reading something, I don't hear anybody getting upset. It's just like the words. And then I read and I'm like, oh, okay, did this actually happen? Did this not? And of course, people have their biases and formulate their opinion. I like to think that, like I said, as an African American on the outside, again, I try to sit there and make sure like there's no black bias, because I know that's what we always get accused of. Because yes, I am absolutely 1,000% proud of being a black man. I'm gonna be that way until the day I die. Ain't nobody gonna never shame me out of that shit. But by the same token, I don't think there's nothing special about being black. You black, you black. Period. Just like if you white, the white. But by the same token, I tell people there's nothing special about being black. There's also nothing special about being white. So let's stop all the white. Oh, the white people are perfect. This, that, and that shit. And I see that amongst us, black people, Asian people, Hispanic people. I'm like, stop all this white ideology. Because they're not perfect. They're just as fucked up as everybody else. So again, it's a good conversation. I don't know what I missed, but
it was a good conversation. Yeah. He was just talking about African Dominican on YouTube, how he don't agree with her on certain things.
Yeah, but I don't agree with 90% of the motherfucking YouTubers. I don't agree with half the shit you say. But I what I do love about being here is having the ability to call you out in real time. You call me out in real time. And I tell everybody that's why I love in the chat. Please somebody correct me on the Wi-Fi and the cell towers. Because if I'm wrong, I want to be corrected. And I'm gonna come up here and I'll be on the next live saying, I'm sorry, I was wrong. I was stupid.
The reason why I say it is because one day you are Dominican, next day you are anti-Dominican, but your name is African Dominican. I'm like, okay, so are you are you Boston or Yankees? Or are you?
You can't be in between.
Yeah. So you
can't.
I just try to be an asshole every day. That's why I'm trying to be a consistent asshole.
Don't change.
Yeah, I mean,
let me tell you this, Rico. I was working at a call center, and I had this friend from the United States, and I remember they were celebrating there was the date of Martin Luther King. What date of the year is that?
January,
January
15th.
Yeah, it was Martin Luther King Day, and it was like that. He was telling me that okay, so it's Martin Luther King Day, and he was gonna he wanted to take the day off, and I was look. That's not a holiday. That's not a holiday here, brother.
Right.
You know that? It was like, no, yeah, but it's no, but yeah, but yeah, here. That's
you're in DR.
We don't care.
Here, no, not that we don't care, but the majority of Dominicans don't even know the guy.
Who he is. Exactly.
Yeah, no, but what do you mean? He did this? Yeah, he did it in the States.
Yes.
Yeah, so what happens in the States, it's not like the world history. It happens in the States. So respectfully, just want you to understand. He was like,
wait a minute, Rick. Wait a minute, Manuel. We are in everybody supposed to know everything about the United States.
No.
Yeah, I mean, like, wait.
That's not true.
Yeah, people don't
I'm just
know.
playing. I'm just playing.
I mean, they don't
That's
know.
how Americans think. That's how
exactly.
Americans
We have our own Martin Luther Kings here, like the local ones. Yeah,
but
like,
you know what that is, man? Well,
Yes,
that's where you have to be careful And that's why I'm always telling Coach a lot of times, like, be careful. Like I just try to tell people, like I said, I got a whole fucking house there, so I'm coming to the DR. I don't give a fuck what y'all say. But nonetheless, I'm careful about how much praise I heap on it. You want to be balanced. So, like I said, I'm not gonna be up here to, oh, the DR is great, because I know tomorrow something to piss me off. So, you know what I'm saying? Be smart. So I tell people when you come to the US, oh, the USA is the greatest country. I tell them, motherfuckers, no, it's not. The US is full of shit. Stop praise. Like you will never hear me talk about how exceptional the US is. I won't shit on it, but I won't praise it. I do understand, so I'll tell people like, yeah, more people are trying to go there because it's got shit. But personally, I'm in the US right now. Do I like living in this motherfucker? No, absolutely not. I hate the fucking racism. I hate the gun violence. I hate the taxes. I hate, there is an endless number of shit that I fucking hate. I hate the fucking politics. I hate the mother. I'm sorry, Miss Heavenly. I hate your president that's coming in. I hate all that. But I genuinely have a deep-seated, but I'm not going to sit here and crap on it. But in the same breath, I'm not going to sit here and praise it.
Right.
So you're neutral. You're pretty much neutral between it, you know.
Me leaving to go to, what I always tell people, like, every time you go to another place, it doesn't have to be better. It can just be different. So me going to the DR, I'm not going to the DR because I think it's better than America. It's not America. It's different. That's it. Didn't have to be the DR. It could be Japan. It could be Mexico. It could be Canada. It could be Brazil. It's different. So if you're sitting there saying, "Oh, I'm going here, it's better," see, that's the problem. Stop saying it's better because you don't know. It might be, it might not.
Right.
Don't do that.
It got certain things that are and certain things that are not.
They didn't have anything that is or isn't. It's just different because I don't know if it does.
It's just saying the same thing. It's certain things
because you are doing the same thing like he's saying that she does. If you get seated into this position of seeing it as better or worse, don't look at it as better or worse. Just say it's different. They speak fucking Spanish. I don't. Spanish is different than English. I don't know if Spanish is better. I don't know if Spanish is worse. I know it ain't the fucking same. That's all I know. Right? Is it better? Is it worse?
Yeah, right. I feel
it just
you,
ain't the same.
You made your damn point. With that being said, and I'm gonna say this, and we're gonna go, y'all. I really believe from the bottom of my heart, we got one of the best panels and universal panels on YouTube. With Manuel and Junior and Rico and we're just not talking about ass and titties all the time.
Now that we got Nikki off here, let's talk about them big booty Latinas. Yeah.
Yeah, and we don't, and every now and then we'll touch on race or whatever, but we don't just focus on race. Because Manuel says it all the time, and Junior does too. Like, it's a whole bunch of stuff we can talk about besides race and are Dominicans black or white. So I appreciate
everything. Look, Junior, we're going to Costanza and we're gonna see all them Asian Dominicans.
Mm-hmm.
The Chinos?
They everywhere.
Constanza,
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's a big Japanese community.
Yeah, exactly. I gotta show my grandchildren who are Japanese that when they come to see me, this is where we're going. Because people don't believe they exist. I'm like, are y'all fucking crazy?
Or is that where the most of them are?
Yes, Costanza.
Yes. That's what the most are?
Yes.
Okay, Costanza.
Yes.
Okay.
They have entire time. I had to tell Coach, I didn't know that the chief of the National Police Department of the whole fucking island was Japanese Dominican. That's like, or he's some sort of Asian.
Guys, I gotta go.
We gotta go. We leaving. Everybody leaving right now.
Rico, I hope we can talk next year about something else, whatever. And it's been a nice conversation, Junior. Love you, brother.
Hey, I'm coming next year. You gonna road trip with us?
Oh, yes, sir. I mean, why not?
I'm saying I'm gonna give you enough notice so you can take off just a week. Just a week. We're going to do we want to do an entire
documentary. It's like
we want to do a road trip though, but seriously,
it's going to be recorded.
Yeah, I want to hit La Vega, go up to Puerto Plata, Costanza, Samana. I'm mapping out.
Hey, Manuel, get your own room because he like P Diddy. He be doing P Diddy stuff.
I got the baby oil.
All right, man.
Yeah,
Y'all take
y'all
care,
going to hell. Y'all going to hell. Y'all have a good one.